Okay, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Let's people join here. People a couple minutes to join. Show it here. We're still getting there. Welcome. We give people a couple minutes to join here. Just started. Hold on 1 second. All right, we got some people join. Well, anyways, welcome to the Real with Joseph Lamtman. I am Joseph Lamtman. Thank you for joining the show today. This is my first live episode with a special guest, and joining me today will be Mike Antonace, who is a good family friend of mine, and a friend of mine and to my family. And the reason why I wanted to bring Mike on today is because, well, Mike's one of the most interesting people I know. Mike's a guy that used to work with my father in the car business. My dad was his boss for a little bit, one of his bosses, and became really close with Mike. And then Mike became really close to our family. Mike used to come over our house, or used to come over, came over my house, a couple of years ago. That was the first time I really met Mike. And I remember the first time I met Mike, he was just really unique, just really authentic, and just a real person, and just didn't care. But he's also a great guy, and he's a funny character as well. But Mike also has a great story as well. And so I found out with Mike a couple of times after that. He came over last year for our draft party at our house. I really got to know Mike more that night. And at that time, I was starting to get the idea of doing this podcast and having guests on one day. And Mike was always the first guy to pop in my head because I think he has got a great future in podcasting. I know he's going to have a podcast coming real soon that he's going to share with us in this show. And so without further ado, let's bring the man himself up here.
Hey, Joseph. How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm great. Beautiful day in our utopia of Northeast Ohio. Yeah. It's great. Sunny.
Yeah, finally sunny. Finally warm. No more of this cold crap. Gosh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised if it was going to snow in May. Did in April. But, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you coming on. And so I guess let's get right to it. Like I said, I know you pretty well, or somewhat well. But, I talked to you on the phone yesterday. There were still some things that I had never known about you. I'd like to get to know more. Some people watching this might know you really well. Some people that don't know you. So I guess let's start with kind of your background and kind of how you grew up, your family, and just kind of who is Mike Antonace?
Well, I'm 26. I grew up right around here, Northeast Ohio. Loving family. Born in 96. I have two wonderful sisters. One who's very close in age to me, 23. Shout out to Madison, who's getting married, just got engaged. So that's awesome. I have a one half brother, Mason, and grew up pretty normal life. Growing up, it was a really fun childhood. The one things I remember, like my family was really involved in community in Hudson a lot. So they were the head of like the Hudson ACs. So they ran the haunted house. And my favorite thing as like a child is like the one memory in my childhood that I remember like vividly. Like we all have that, right? Like, I don't know if you have that, like when you're like 3 or 4 years old, you just have that one memory that just sticks with you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
the one memory I had that sticks out is my dad would take me to the haunted house when I was like 4. And I was little, so I was able to hide behind things that no one else was. So they would do me up in a bunch of like makeup and stuff, and I'd be like hopping out, scaring people.
Right.
That's like the only like memory I have from my young childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, growing up, high school, I did like theater, improv, a bunch of stuff like that. Was really, really into improv more than anything, just because it was a club you could put on like your resume, and you really didn't do anything much besides like
Right.
like whose line is it anyway games and shit. It was great. And through that, the whole time I was really involved in a youth group, a pretty like zealous youth group, I guess you could say. But like I always was very involved in this church, and we had like ministry 3 to 4 times a week. I was teaching certain ministry classes at like 15, 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
I think I lost you on audio a little bit.
Can you hear me now? You good?
You sound really faint.
Can you hear me now? How about now?
Let's see.
Maybe to turn your volume up a little bit.
Might be on my end. My bad.
No, you're good.
Sorry about that.
Now? Oh, you're good, man. So you're talking about when you were 15 years old, you're teaching youth group, is what you were talking about?
Yeah. So I was 15 years old teaching youth group. Got invited to the church just through somebody I knew in class. I wasn't really like close with the kid or anything like that, but he just invited me to like this home church, and I thought it sounded interesting. I was really into God and the Bible at the time. My parents were, I guess you could say, like lazy Christians. Like they would go to, church, but only on like Christmas, Easter,
Yeah.
So got really heavily involved in that all through high school. I'd say until about, must have been my sophomore year, up until when I was about 18. I was really, really heavily involved. And then the thing about it was like I said, it was very zealous. So like I don't want to say like culty, because I don't know, like I still have friends there. I don't know if that sounds insulting, but it was like 4 to 5 days a week of just church activities. And once you graduated high school, the option was that you had to move into what was called like a ministry apartment. And essentially like church housing, but it was just apartments that they rented out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like moved out there for when I was 18, and got involved with my now fiance, who is outreach, they called it at the time. Basically, it was like people they were trying to bring into the church, like evangelism, which is not a bad thing. What was that?
How old are you again at this time?
How old was I?
Yeah. Your fiance?
Sorry, I keep losing you on audio. I don't know what's going on.
I think you're in a bad spot in whatever room you're in, because you're cutting out a little bit.
What was that?
I think you're in a bad spot, whatever room you're in. I think you're cutting out a little bit.
Let's see if I can switch rooms. Very professional. I know. So terrible guess already.
No, it's all good. It's all good. This is the real, right? So real life. Who cares?
Go figure. Everything was working in the original litmus test, and now it's not.
No, it's all good. I can hear you good now. So, no, I was asking you. You said you met your now fiance back then at church, right? So when you're about 18 years old, I believe.
Still having trouble hearing you. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're good.
You can hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
Let me see.
You got a headset, like a headphone set?
Tell you what, can I get out of StreamYard and then rejoin? Because maybe that'll like
I'll bring
reestablish
you
the
off.
connection.
Yeah, I'll bring you off and I'll bring you back on. So hold on, I'm gonna bring Mike back on in a second. So, but yeah, so far I've gotten to see a little bit of Mike. He's talking about growing up in that church. He said it was very zealous, and that's something he told me yesterday that I didn't know about. And he'll get into a little bit more. But who's all in here? Somebody leave a comment. I don't know if you guys see the live chat. Maybe leave a comment so we know who's in here. And Mike's getting back in here. Hold on 1 second.
There it goes. I can hear you perfect now. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. It's all good.
so sorry.
That's all good.
Yeah,
So, no, what I was asking for when I had the interruption was, so you said you met your fiance when you're 18, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
So, I guess we'll pick back up from there.
Yeah. So, she was outreach at the time, which is basically just like, people trying to bring them into the church. And we just kind of hit it off. And like I said, the church was pretty zealous. They had some very strict rules that you had to abide. And it was a good thing and a bad thing because I learned so much about the Bible. And when it was good, it was great. Like my brothers in Christ in that body of Christ was it was amazing. Like I considered them family. I spent more time there than I did with my family. And then after I met my fiance Hannah, we fell in love, and they were pretty strict on, I guess you could say, like sins of the flesh is a nice way of saying it.
Oh yeah.
And they basically said, "Hey, you have to stop talking to her," because
Really?
they strict. Like they were like, you have to cut it off. And I actually tried, like, because that's how much this church meant to me at the time. Like,
wow. So it really was kind of. So it really was kind of like you said. You feel like you were like a cult almost, like trying to dominate what you do and your thinking, and trying to tell you how to live your life, basically.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Like they had like even with the housing, like they had you sign a what did they call it? I can't even remember. It was basically like a rental agreement, but it wasn't a rental agreement because you already signed one with the apartment complex. It was like a secondary rental agreement that if you broke a rule in the church and didn't correct it, they could kick you out of the apartment, which looking back probably had no legal binding whatsoever.
No.
But,
probably not. I would think not.
I would think not, but I was 18. I didn't know anything about anything at the time. Some would say I still don't, but
it's all good.
Yeah,
we're still growing every day. So
yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of it.
26 is still really young. So I'm
thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much for saying. I finally had the meme happen to me. The one where like I got ID'd for beer, and she gave it back to me in like 10 seconds. She didn't even. I don't even think she like looked at my name or anything. She just looked at the card, gave it back to me 5 seconds flat, something like that. And I was like, that was quick. And she was like, oh, I saw the one in front of your name. And I was like, what? And then I realized, like, the fact of the matter is, like, you were born in the 90s, you can drink. Right. And I got grades, man. Oh, let's not get into it. Let's go back to the I'd rather talk about my young hard times than my gray hairs.
So yeah, let's go back to, I guess, were there some maybe experiences maybe you had beyond? I know you talk about they could try to control your housing. They try to tell you how to really basically live your life. You can't date this girl because maybe you fell into some sinful lust, which a lot of people do, which is
right,
a common sin for a lot of people. The flesh is common with all of us, right? But
right, yeah.
I think it's something a lot of people forget, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I've really tried to not only work on with myself, but just in private, talking to people about. I think sometimes that's really forgotten, just how worldly our flesh is.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
our flesh can never really be overtaken by the spirit. You have to override the flesh with the spirit, you know, in terms of
Right.
Christ, speaking
Exactly.
of the spirit. And but so I guess what I'm asking is what were some maybe experiences as you started to get older? So you're 18. When did you really start to really think on this? Like, man, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't right. These people are driving me crazy here.
Well, they made that decision for me.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I tried to talk to my now fiance and was like, hey, I can't talk to you anymore because of X, Y, and Z, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it broke my heart, but for obvious reasons, it broke hers.
Right.
And I basically, after she talked to me about it, you know, called me on the phone crying, I was just like, I can't do it. I can't like cut this woman out of my life.
Yeah.
And so they excommunicated me.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's where it really hurt. Like, that hurt because I didn't really understand what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, all of these people I'd known for years who I considered, you know, family, like I said, we got into the head of the church's house. They had like a meeting, and I didn't know what it really would entail, this excommunication process.
Mm-hmm.
I was in front of 300 people in a room and basically said like, hey, you know, we're not going to hang out with you anymore. You know, we're not going to really, you know, talk to you like friendly wise. Like, if we see you on the street, we'll be nice, but like, we don't wish ill. We'll pray for you, this, that, and the other. But the best thing I could like compare it to is almost like Amish shunning, kind of. Like,
yeah. So what was their reaction to that when you said that? What were people's faces? Did anybody say anything to you, like in front of the whole crowd, or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, some people were like, you know, it was, and here I did commit a sin, you know, and like, it's a weird two-way street because part of me is like, yeah, no, I broke their rules. I knew their rules. Like, I knew what was going to happen if I did. And, you know, but people are like, you know, you can still mend your relationships. It doesn't have to be this way, that kind of thing, you know, trying to get me to stay because I was, you know, going to start teaching the college church, you know. I was going to start teaching, you know, they wanted to get me into eventually teaching like the main, because they had a college church, high school church, and then they had like a big like service where all of the churches met. And their end goal is for me to start teaching that. So I don't know if they went down, because it's happened to my knowledge before and even after the fact, the same thing that happened to me, but I don't feel like the consequences were quite the same for those people.
So you felt like they were shunning, condemning you, but you feel like maybe they were doing some of the same things, but they didn't. Who's telling them what to do?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's funny you say that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the sad part is I lost a lot of friends that day. Like,
yeah. And
for a long time, you know, where do I put that bitterness? Like, I was bitter at them, but for a long time it made me bitter at God. You know, you know, I'm an 18-year-old kid. Like, I I can't either differentiate or, you know, I just wanted to be angry at God. For that point, I was like, you know, you put me in this church, you put me in this body of Christ, and like, now this happened. Like, it's, how could God do this to me? And for a long time, that really, like, I was bitter for years, and I lived a life in the flesh. Like, I really did. Like, probably a week after I left the church, I was partying, you know, doing drugs, like bad stuff, and and
you know, it's I mean, to cut you off, but it's great. What you're saying, man, is because, you know, I'm 22, you're 4 years older than me, and so a lot of people I grew up with, maybe people I affiliated with at some point, or kind of knew, maybe not, you know, just people I knew. You know how it is, you hang around people, you go to school with them, or blah blah, or whatever. And I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something I've noticed a lot in recent years. Is I've seen a lot of people grow up in that kind of environment like that in a church, especially not to isolate, but I would say more bigger churches, I guess you could say, kind of these
Right.
mega-sized churches.
Like
Not
mega
all,
churches.
and I'm not all. I'm not trying to generalize because there are some great
Right.
churches that are bigger, and I think a bigger church that grows is great for God. But a lot of times in these mega churches, there's a lot of money involved, there's a lot of power involved, and a lot of people get kind of lose sight of what the really should be there for, which is to win souls to Christ ultimately at the end of the day. And
Right.
it's like you were saying, they start to kind of control people and they try to mold you into how they want you to be. And I see a lot of people that I went to school with, Mike, got out of high school 4 years ago. They're completely different people. They're kind of in like a rebellious stage right now. They're out kind of like
it comes
you
on
said.
quick too.
Oh yeah, it comes out fast. And then, a lot of them, they bolted away from home because they finally got a chance to get away, to go off to college. And that's great to go off to college and grow and become a young adult and move on with your life.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of young people have just abandoned their values. They've abandoned, and a lot of that is because when they were younger, they were disappointed, or like a lot of similar to you, maybe they felt shunned away or condemned, and it's kind of gets to the point where, I heard somebody say this earlier this week. It really stuck with me, and I noticed a lot even myself. People really try to mold you in who they want you to be, and they try to make you who they want you to be, and then when you don't, they become pissed off. They become angry at you, and they take their anger out. And hey, now they don't like you anymore, right? And so, I guess for you is, so that's kind of how you felt. I'm guessing is you just felt everybody this whole group of people that you only knew were. I'm assuming this is the group of people you've always known as when you thought of Christians or followers of Christ. You thought of this group of people, and so now,
I mean,
when
they molded my young brain.
Yeah, and so now when they turn against you, you think, oh well, man. Why, God? Why are you doing this to me?
Right.
So I guess kind of what were those years like when you were in that period? Did you ever have moments where maybe a night where an incident happened, or maybe what was like kind of couple low points for you, maybe where you kind of really started to second guess that?
Couple really low points, I'd say. My anxiety started to get pretty bad after that. Like, I had never dealt with panic disorder or anxiety before, but like right when I was about like probably 19, like right when I started in the car business, I started getting pretty bad anxiety. Like, I don't know, like for me, I think initially it started because of like health-induced anxiety. Because when I was young,
I've been there.
Oh yeah, it's no fun, man. And
no, not at all.
When I was 15, I had an MRI on my brain because one morning I woke up and like my left arm wasn't working properly. I guess honestly, looking back, it was probably a pinched nerve, but the neurologist is like, oh, he's a kid, be safe, cover all bases, give him an MRI, whatever.
Right.
And, I had demyelination on my brain. Like I have scar tissue on my brain, which is only synonymous with like multiple sclerosis patients. So like, I always have that in the back of my head. Like, oh God,
right.
It's
like that seed planted and it keeps nagging at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's
like, I've been there, man.
Am I going to stroke out any minute? Like, what's going to happen? But, and it's weird because my sisters had the same thing. The neurologist legitimately said it's the first medical time he's ever seen that. Our spots are on the same spots on all. It is the weirdest thing he said he's ever seen. But
hold on, your audio kind of weakened there a little bit.
It's
oh, there you go.
It was weird. And, oh man, hold on. Can you say something real quick?
Can you hear me now? You good?
I'm gonna leave the stream again. Come back. Hold on. Couldn't pause.
So yeah, man, as you see, so far why I love Mike. Mike's a great guy. He's real. He's funny, but he's got an incredible story, man. And like I was saying, there's a lot of people that have been where Mike's been. And so I think Mike's back up here now. What's going on, chat? I see you in the chat. All right, you good?
I don't
now?
know what's happening. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. This happens all the time. I go on streams all the time. Are you getting calls?
I'm getting calls in. I think that's messing with the audio after I ignore the call.
Yeah, that happens. If somebody calls you while you're on a stream, then it cuts out. That's how it goes. But
yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, bro. So yeah, you were talking about you started getting real bad anxiety. You had the brain scan, the MRI.
Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, after that, like, you know, the neurologist essentially, I had a second MRI when I was 23, and the spots hadn't changed, and like in that matter of time, they said like, hey, you know, if it was something serious, something would have changed in your brain. You know, I mean, what is that? An 8-year spread, nearly almost a decade. So they were like, it's probably just some weird vascular thing that you were born with. You know, not everybody gets a brain scan in their lifetime.
Right.
So like it could be way more common, but we just don't know. You know, no one's got a perfect brain.
But they weren't too concerned about it.
Right. And like, that's probably what I should hang my hat on. But, you know, good old anxiety. Like,
not a lot of health things here. I can speak for myself. I don't. So I still don't. I still struggle to this day. You know, I had 3 different doctors tell me I was perfectly safe and healthy. But, you know, you get those panic attacks, man. Those are long, torturous days. Those where your anxiety is just overboard. And a lot of times you're alone in those days. Your mind can really just sit and just play games with you, and it could just, it's a snowball effect. You start to get those mental imagery in your head almost. You start to create those movies in your head. You know, like you said, you're worried about having a stroke or just catastrophic thoughts. You know,
like, oh man, am I gonna forget who I am tomorrow?
Right. Absolutely. So,
I mean, maybe at that time I would have, but not for the same reason.
Right.
But yeah, no, those are a lot of low points, and like, God bless, like my bosses, your dad, especially at the time, because they would, you know, hell, early in my career, I called off so much, like they thought I was still calling off into my mid-20s, even though I didn't miss a lot of work. That was just the whole like image of me at that point, just because like my anxiety sometimes would be so bad, like I couldn't go into work, or like
agoraphobic.
Yeah, or like you go into work and like the lights start bothering me. Like, I don't know, like my eyes get like that. You know, how when
you're very sensitized to everything when you're just so high strung like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I totally get it. Yeah, it's weird. It's like everything just looks different too.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it almost looks like it's because of all the adrenaline, right? Because like
adrenaline, the tension.
It's like coming off a roller coaster or going through a haunted house. Like, it's the same thing. And I love haunted houses, which is weird.
Right. You grew up in a haunted house.
I basically did.
Right.
but yeah, that was rough times. And then, you know, in 2017, I lost my father to addiction, you know.
Wow.
And that was, you know, I got better in my anxiety for a while, and then I lost my dad. And then it's like all the progress I had made for like my life, you know, maybe I was getting better with God at that point, but I wasn't fully there yet. But I remember I was starting to go to church again. Like, it basically, the walls came crashing down for me. You know, I know my dad struggled with that stuff for some time.
Yeah.
But we all thought he was better. You know, unfortunately, like with many addicts, he relapsed, and you know, a lot of them don't come back when they do,
right?
Because obvious reasons. You know,
right.
I mean, we all know that. If like everybody in the chats from our area, you know, they know Northeast Ohio. It's one of the worst places in the United States. Unfortunately,
horrible, man. Especially in Akron, Cuyahoga Falls, where we are. It's one of the worst in the country.
It's an epidemic.
And then they call Falls High the pharmacy for a reason. And
absolutely. All the pain.
Pretty well.
I went there. All the pain pills. I still remember. Yeah. I'll look up, and that's the weird thing too, man. Is I'll look up all these kids. They were kids too, like you know, that passed away at 22, 21, or in jail. Like, it's like,
and you never know really what you're surrounded by either. That's the weird part, man. When I got older, I started looking back. I mean, there were some people I was around growing up. I feel like I always had a good sense of self-awareness. But man, when you got older, I started looking back at some of the things I found out what was going on around me with certain
Oh, yeah.
people. You started to be like, damn, that was really going on at that time. Like, shit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's like, really? He was doing that? I was like,
Right.
he's 16.
Yeah.
How are you doing that? Where's he
Right,
finding it?
Yeah, where are they finding it at? That's a crazy
Yeah, where are
part.
they finding it? Who do you know? Who's selling that to a 16-year-old kid? That's messed up.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was my lowest point, man. Was my dad.
So yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine, but so your dad, I remember that day actually because I remember my dad came home that night, because you obviously my dad loves you and was worried about you that night, obviously, and I guess so. From that point on, did that you feel like that was kind of like a wake up call for you? Maybe because you lost your father, did it make you start to really, because you're in that period, right? You've been in that period of
right.
You're angry at God. You're, I guess you could say borderline an atheist almost. Is that fair to say?
Right. I was, I don't know. Like, there were times I would call myself an atheist just because of anger, but in my heart, I never truly I'd never truly believed there wasn't a God. And I think that's the Holy Spirit, because it's like, once you accept Christ, and theologians will argue about this, but I truly believe you can't lose your salvation.
No, but it's like the seed was planted in you when you were a young kid.
Right. So
it stayed there.
Right. So it was a little bit of both, because I went into a really dark place, man. I'll be honest. I was, I went through moments where I was praying for my father, God, please tell me, he's with you, he's in heaven, he's happy, but please just show me a sign he's there, or something like that. And I went through bouts of anger, again, why my family, why me, why him? And then I was never really a drinker, but after my dad passed, for a while, it was the only thing I could find solace in, because I didn't want to think about it. Again, God bless my bosses over in the car business of where I worked, because the general sales manager knew my father, and came to his funeral and basically said, dude, just write off the rest of the month. He passed in October 13th of 2017, which is, I always joke, because my dad was a horror movie nut, and he passed on Friday the 13th, and I'm like, of course he would do that.
All right.
But so I had 2 weeks where I did nothing, but pray, drink, sat at home. People called, people were great. Your dad was great. Everyone was checking in, but for a while, the denial phase lasts a while, dude. That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Even today, sometimes I'll wake up and be like, oh man, I can't wait to call my dad about the Browns, because he was such a big Browns fan that we have him in a Browns urn, for all eternity. Wow. That's how big of a Browns fan he was. If he wasn't in his shirt and tie, he was in Browns gear.
Wow. That's awesome.
But yeah, man, I was in a dark place, and really, I after that, I jumped around a little bit, quit that job to go work with your dad after he switched positions.
Right.
Excuse me. And shortly after that, I even bounced around faiths, because I was like, well, I believe in God, but do I believe in the right God? You know what I mean? And for a while, I bounced around with Islam even, and I looked into Judaism and stuff, but it was all still the God of Abraham. But it just kept really egging on me, and eventually it was a wake up call kind of thing. I just had a wake up call day where I'll never forget, and this is one of the things I read that really pops for me, is C.S. Lewis, the writer of the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, among other things. Screwtape Letters is another big book, but he wrote a lot of theological articles in his time, and before that he was a pretty big atheist. And one day he said, he was just thinking about God and praying, and he eventually just stamped his fists on his desk and said, you know what, God, you win. I can't do it anymore. I can't do this anymore. I
Can't take it anymore. He had enough. He tapped out.
Yeah, I can't keep fighting you. He goes, basically,
right.
he tapped out. He basically told God, you win. You win.
Mm-hmm.
I accept you. I believe you're real. I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was kind of just a moment. Like, I just had that moment where it was like, I can't keep telling myself that, I'm just angry, or like, he's not real, or maybe I'm wrong about my religion, because I'm very firm in my faith in Christianity. Theologically, we could always talk about that down the road of like how much history, like the Bible's a very historical book as well as like a book of faith.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I just had that moment, and unfortunately, for a long time, I realized, I don't know if God was testing me. But I was
like
not.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was not like Job. Like, I failed. If I was Job, I would have failed so bad.
I have too. So I can attest to that.
And that's one of my favorite books in the Bible. So I don't know why I couldn't read on the parallels, but I just woke up one day, just said I can't do this anymore, and I started praying again. Like, and it's weird, dude. Like, if you deal with anxiety, like sometimes I'll be having like a panic attack, and I'll just like be praying and be like, God, I put all my anxieties on you. You let your will be done in my life, no matter what happens, no matter if I'm here another 60 years or another 6. Just let your will be done. What do you want?
Oh yeah, and I've been there. Like you said, when you're in those moments of panic attacks. I mean, I remember if I had to list how many panic attacks, anxiety attacks I have, it's got to be in the hundreds, if not the thousands. And so that's what it feels like for the last, especially 6-7 years. And so, but yeah, man, you get in those moments, and it's kind of similar. I had last summer, I was kind of going through that where I felt isolated a little bit. It's like something was really nagging me all the way up until about a month ago when I started doing this. Something was really like, like, hey man, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And I've always thought about this podcast for a while. And I think I mentioned it to you last year last time I saw you.
Oh yeah, you did. You actually, in your introduction, we were talking about your podcast. I was like, dude, you'd be great at doing a podcast.
Oh yeah. And I
we were
remember
making
that whole
fun
night.
of
who we were making fun of that night? I can't remember. That was a draft night.
We were making fun of Corey because the Falcons took Kyle Pitts instead of Justin Fields. And we were like, oh, you got a tight end.
You got a tight end. You go to Super Bowl, baby. Yeah, he wanted Justin Fields so bad, too. He
wanted him so bad. He was like, Justin Fields. And then the pick came out, Kyle Pitts. And he was like,
I saw the pick on my phone before it came out. It was on Twitter. Everything goes on Twitter for it's.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I looked at it, but I was like, dude, I sit there like this. I was like, I know what the pick is.
He was just sitting there laughing, and Corey's like,
he's like on eggshells. He's on eggshells. Like, what's about that? We about to get Justin Fields, and I'm like, no, man, you got a tight end. Kyle Pitts was phenomenal last year. But...
Oh no, Pitts he's a top 3 already, in my opinion, and he's only played a year. But it's not a quarterback.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody wrote Falcons blow. So.
They do.
Sorry, Corey.
They do. Yeah, they lost 28-3 in the Super Bowl, and then 28-3 on the Deshaun Watson race. They lost both times.
Oh man, and they thought they had Deshaun Watson. I thought they had him too for a minute.
Kyle Pitts was tweeting. He was tweeting. He was like, about to get scary in Atlanta.
But I think Deshaun Watson even had a jersey. They gave him an Atlanta.
I saw that picture. It was like crumpled up on the foosball table in the
back. And he's like, I got my Browns jerseys now. I just threw that in the back.
Check out my Browns jerseys. Made sure to include it in the picture. There's no way he did not just forget to crop it. Like, his PR team's got to be like the best PR team in football with everything.
Oh, they know what they're doing. Yeah.
That was so funny.
Hey, shout out to the Browns for giving that full guarantee. I would have did it too. So
yeah, I mean, somebody was. Right,
somebody's gonna pay. You got to get your quarterback eventually, but
Well,
yeah, man. So back to what we were talking about, though. Yeah, I mean, I was saying. Oh no, you're good. Like I was saying, I was mentioning that last year, and I kept putting it off. I didn't feel fully 100% on board with it yet. Like something was making me resist it, and then I got to a point about a month ago. I had this week where, man, it was one of the toughest weeks. starting from that Monday all the way until about the Thursday, about almost Friday. And it, like I said in this podcast, that Saturday, something just that one day, I just woke up and I said, you know what, today's the day, and it just happened. And so I guess did you have a lot of resistance when you started to, it's kind of like, I guess what I'm asking is, I know with anxiety when you're healing, you start to really you turn it back to the Lord now. Was there a lot of resistance to stay where you were because you felt maybe comfortable
Oh yeah.
or safe?
Oh yeah. And here I'm like, I mean, your dad knows, I'm out of the car business, and that took, going back to the Lord and that, like, I think both were almost synonymous because, I mean, anybody in the car business will tell you, it's not the most stress-free job in the world.
Absolutely not.
you can make a great living not knowing a lot, just having the gift of gab, and like I'd never trade anything for my years in the car business because of the people I met. I wouldn't know your dad. I wouldn't know you if it
know
for the
you.
car.
We were sitting here right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love so many people I met in the car business, and I still have such amazing friends in that business. But it just got to the point where I couldn't do it. The missus is working at the clinic now, so she works second shift at the Cleveland clinic. I wouldn't have seen her,
Yeah.
And got kind of to the point where it's like, I've got to put family first, got to put me first.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Taking the step with God, and I took the step with God before that, helped me take that step because I was like back in like, I guess, uneven waters, you know what I mean? Like back in rocky waves a little bit. And I was just like, God, just take my hand, help me out, man. Just help me through the waters. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for a while I'm sure you felt the same way, just you felt stagnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just feel and I still do
almost
sometimes.
Like you weren't even trying to it's not even like you're trying to procrastinate. It's just like it's almost like when you're in that state, that fugue state, you're just apathetic. It's not that you're trying to procrastinate, like you don't even have it in your mind. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, I've been there, man. It's like that's why it's a convincing game, and it takes time. That's something I'm still growing in. I'm still don't do a lot of things I want to do yet, but it really tests your patience. And, I mean, your patience gets put to the ultimate test, and it's like you said, you could really procrastinate, you could really trick yourself, and you can kind of get off track, lose your focus. So I guess that's a good point. I mean, how do you try to, I guess, stay focused? And it's very easy, the world we live in, to get kind of sidetracked with things and lose track of what's important. So I guess what are some things you do now maybe to help you stay focused?
So things, I'm lucky to have a wonderful support structure with my missus, and whether I think that is like the pinnacle, right? Like with anything, like whether it be, opening a business, your mental health, just, being a good member of society, like you need that support structure, whether it be, significant other, friends, family, so if it weren't for my support structure, my friends, my family, my significant other, I wouldn't be, better mentally. I wouldn't be, nearly where I'm at. Like they help me focus a lot. So I owe a lot to them. I owe a lot to God. He's part of my support structure, and that's a great support structure.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's a good thing. Some things that I do for myself, at least to combat anxiety, like I'm sure this is the same for you. Like we've had it for so long and dealt with it for so long. It's really easy to like recognize it. Right. So like that's a big thing. You recognize this is a panic attack. Like it will be over. I'm not dying.
Yeah.
Like,
and your worst fears never happened.
Right. Exactly. I'm sitting in my chair at home, and I keep losing to this boss on Wasteland 3, but I'm not dying.
Right.
But yeah, that's another thing. Just like remaining present, like tries to help me focus. Like, what do I have to do today? What do I have to do today to make tomorrow easier? Is something that's helped me a lot. Just that word track, that saying, trying to live by that mantra. What can I do today to make tomorrow easier? And that helps me focus a lot, because it kind of reverses procrastinating, right? Because it's like, if you're procrastinating, if you're in a fugue, stagnant state, you know, that whole thought process is, I'll just do it tomorrow. What's the harm? You know,
I just keep putting it off.
Yeah, and you keep putting it off.
Yeah.
So like, helping you focus, it's like, what can I do today that's going to make tomorrow easier? I won't have to do as much. You know, right. I'm a creature of comfort. I won't lie. Like, I'm your dad will tell you, I'm lazy. I'm real lazy. You know, I'm happy just sitting on my chair, you know, drinking a Modelo, playing some video games, maybe listening to Mary Kay Cabot talk about how Baker Mayfield's going to be here another 10 years because no one wants him or something.
Nobody wants him.
Nobody wants him. But, you know, so like, and that's a big thing. Like, it's really hard being a creature of comfort. That's one thing I need to pray on more, because like, when you're comfortable, man, life is like, it's harder when you're comfortable. Like, you need to be uncomfortable sometimes. And really, that's what I loved about the car business too, is like, I was uncomfortable. You know, you could get into some uncomfortable situations, whether it be with sales managers, just like, I might just go back and go tell them, what are you doing? Like, or if it was with the customer, you know, like, you need some discomfort.
You need to go back there and tell them this number right now, or else this is it.
Tell them.
Especially with Johnny. We know how John is.
Oh God!
My dad, you put my dad and John together. Oh man,
I missed that so much. For those of you watching that may not know, we had this little manager. He's about 4'10", and he was this little Italian, like, classic. If you watch any film about the car business and straight like mobster. Straight mobster, but any film about the car business ever, you know, the stereotypical car salesman, you go watch any movie, that's John. John was that guy. He was the guy that would have been wearing the cowboy hat, you know, just being like, oh, come on down, man. But
I always picture John as like somebody like I said, like a full tuxedo, like like full mobster, dude, straight old school John Gotti type mobster, like just in the cut, just got his guys with him, directing orders. Absolutely. Man, have to go back, throw that TO, let them know what time it is. You buying or what? Get or not, get out.
I was on the other team, because there were two sales teams, right?
Yeah, right.
You had John's team, and then you had the other sales team, and that sales team went through like 6 managers. I think in my time I went through about 6 managers, because I wasn't on John's team for a long time, and I was successful. I was like a constant. Like, everything around me would change, but I still was on that team, and I was still making pretty good money. Yeah. And then, you know, I leave your dad's company, go back to the previous company. Where John worked. And John goes, I want Antonace. I'm the only one that can keep him in line, which wasn't true. So it, you know, working for him for a year, because I was only back a year before, I was like, you know what, maybe I just got to get out of the car business. Gotta trust God, got to go into these shaky waters, but got to get uncomfortable again.
Yeah, because you transitioned in the last year, right? Because I remember we had our draft party. Actually, you surprised us. We had John come up, stop by that night, and John was yelling at me because I bought all the fertilizer he wanted, so I got an earful on that. But
he'll give an earful. John needs to give an earful. It's like how he eats. It's like his photosynthesis. You know what I mean?
He wants me to come to his house, I guess. So I got to go to his house eventually and help check out his yard and all that. But anyways,
beautiful home, Casa del
beautiful
John.
House up there.
Beautiful home. Beautiful home. Like, the witness protection program really helped him a lot.
But so I guess what kind of made you give that chance? Pretty much bet on yourself. I mean, you were in the car business for some years, and you built a lot of strong 7 years. That's a long time. I mean,
I was 19. I was a teenager when I met your dad. Teenager. Right.
Fresh out of high school, and you know, you had a lot happen during that time. You know, you became close to a lot of these guys, close with my family here. You know, my mom loves you, everybody loves you in our family. So
I love your family too. I love you, Jim.
Oh, we love you too. So I remember my mom was like kind of like one of my stepsons, because my mom was one of my stepsons. But So I guess kind of what made you bet on yourself? Was it just kind of like, you know what, this is I want to do what I really want to do now and really take
Yeah.
a chance on myself. So kind of what made
Yeah.
you flip the switch?
I had a quarter life crisis,
Okay.
but I guess you could say it was,
Mhm.
it's just, you get to that point where like, it's dumb to say, because you and I are not really that different in age, right? You're
No, not
22,
at
right?
all.
And
Hell,
I'm
we were around
27.
a lot of same people growing up. I think you were at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
if you grew up in Cuyahoga Falls back in, was it the light at the net? Is that what they called it? The light?
Oh yeah. The
Yeah, yeah.
light. Oh my
The light.
God.
Oh my
Blast from the
gosh.
past. I can't believe it. I can't believe that. Quick tangent story. So I opened enrolled to the falls for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents moved to Stowe, but I was like, oh, my friends are in Cuyahoga Falls. Oh, you guys suck. Why would you do this to me? And then they were like, oh, fine. We'll just open enroll you. My
Right.
mom moved so many times. She was a gypsy, just not enough money to take the caravan far kind of thing.
Right.
So my stepdad would drive me to work,
Mm-hmm.
and he would drop me off at the Nat at like 5:30, like right when they opened, and I just
Right.
work out until school opened.
Mm-hmm.
I was in great shape in high school. I missed that. But you remember when Mitt Romney was running for president?
Oh yeah, 2012.
Yep. So he
That's
spoke at Cuyahoga Falls,
I
like
remember that.
right in front of the Nat.
Yeah, I
So that
remember
day,
that.
my stepdad drops me off. He's running a little late, takes off. I close the door. He's basically speeding out of the parking lot, right? I go to open the door to the Nat. It's closed. There's a presidential candidate speaking that day. Of course
Right.
it's closed.
Right.
We didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do for 2.5 hours in downtown Falls at 5:30 in the morning? So I just walked around downtown with my like 40-pound backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's this black sedan. I shit you not. I know this sounds fake. This is real. I promise.
Oh, I can tell. Here, I know Cuyahoga Falls real well. So that's
Yeah,
where I grew
there
up.
was a black sedan following me. I'm wearing a backpack. I already had a beard going. It was like a chin strap. It was good high school because that was cool.
Yeah, right.
And black sedan was just following me around. Just like, I bet he thought I had like a bomb in my backpack or something like that. Where's he placing it? Who is this guy?
Right.
Why is he here at 5:30? I almost wish they stopped so I could just be like, promise I'm okay.
All right. They thought you were going to
Building that physique. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, I think we were around each other probably a good amount because I used to go to the Nat all the time. Me and my friends, gosh, we would go every weekend. We go to the Light on Friday night. That was from 7 to 11, and I have a lot of stories about that.
Yeah, the Light was interesting.
It was interesting because it was a wide age group too. It was for like you had 10-year-olds, maybe 11, 12-year-olds, all the way to there was 18-year-olds in there. You're hanging out with high schoolers. You're basically like this mini teen club, I guess you could call it, with high schoolers.
Yeah, exactly.
And middle schoolers were all mending together. That's how I got to know a lot of these older guys. But yeah, man, I think because we talked about that when I first met you 2 years ago. I was like, damn, we probably hunt around with each other. We probably know a lot of the same people.
Oh yeah.
And so
yeah,
I
always wondered
Saturday. What's that?
I said I always wondered if you knew my sister because like you guys are in that same age group.
Probably.
But
yeah.
But I digress. Before I broke off on our tangent,
no, it's not good. Yeah.
Where were we at?
Our Cuyahoga Falls reminiscing. No, I'd ask.
Baby.
I was asking you. I guess kind of. You were talking about what made you hit that quarter life crisis what made you really flip the switch to bet on yourself.
That's right. Well, it really got to the point, and like I said, we're not too different in age, and it might sound silly, but like I feel like once you hit your late 20s, and this might be a byproduct just of our generation because like of social media and like, like, oh, look at all these successful people, you're, you got to be more successful. You should have done more at this age kind of thing. I think it was a little bit of that influence, but like also at this point, like I'm not getting any younger, 30 is right around the corner, so if I'm going to mess up and like bet on myself for a little bit, I feel like now is the time to fail and learn some life lessons. If I do in fact fail, and then just learn from it and get better. and continue to grow. Like if there's any time to do it, I feel like now's the time. I feel like everybody in their late 20s should at least dabble.
Right. Try to take chances on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because like no one else is gonna do it for you. People might push you in one way or another. People might give you advice, but
right. And sometimes you get really crappy advice too.
Yeah.
I mean, so people mean well, and I really mean that. Like I had that for a long time. People didn't really know what was going on with me because nobody really. Anxiety is really not a well-educated topiget nowadays.
It really isn't.
It's not at all. That's kind of the reason why I really wanted to start this in a lot of ways, because I've been fortunate to get to know a lot of other YouTubers, big YouTubers that have helped me out a lot. And like one friend, this guy named Anxiety Guy, Dennis Simsek, is a former pro tennis player.
I'm a subscriber. I've watched him.
And so I've gotten to know Dennis pretty well. I was messaging him last night, and there's not a whole lot of guys like that out there, especially in the first response. When people initially start having these things, that's not the first person you usually hear from is somebody like that. And so, man, I mean, it's kind of lost my train of thought here for a second. I was thinking about that, but
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But, I guess it's kind of like, it's cool to hear you talk now, just kind of taking that chance on yourself. But I guess, how is your patience through all this? Because I know that's something a lot of people do. They try to, at least for me, that's something I struggle with is, okay, I have a plan in place. I'm, really starting to test myself now. I'm starting to get some growth. My relationship with God is getting stronger and stronger. But your patience can really get out of whack, because you start to get a little greedy. At least for me, I start to get a little more ambitious. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I guess kind of how do you keep your patience and try to stay even killed, kind of stay neutral?
Well, my patience has actually been, I'd say, pretty good throughout. Right now I'm helping, like you said at the intro, I'm going to be starting my own little sports podcast here soon. I'm writing in my own time, which is I love to write. I've written like little stories since I was a kid. It's like one of the things that God gifted me. And then another big thing is I'm helping open a bar here shortly, and that's really exciting. Like that's another thing that is a big thing on my plate, but I'm just super hyped about.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I got another call. I'm sorry. Hold on. Are you joining? Yeah. This is your version of commercials. That's all.
Hey, I need to get a little commercial thing here. What who all do we have in here? Somebody else in here? Somebody leave a comment. I'm about to drop the link here pretty shortly if anybody wants to join. So spread the word. About to drop the link. Hold on. Mike's back up here. Oh, here we go. All right, we got you.
I'm just a really popular person today. That's all.
Yeah, everybody's calling you, blowing you up right now. Like, what's Mike doing? What's Mike,
and I swear to God, I told like everybody that usually calls me, "Hey, I'm doing this podcast, so don't call me from this time to this time." And
as long as they listen to, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I'm like, and all these people that never call me are calling me now. But
this will. We're done. This will re-upload. So I know I don't expect everybody to come watch it at 7:00. I know a lot of people will probably watch it maybe later tonight or.
Right.
So, yeah. This will re-upload. So.
Cool.
People rewatch it again or whatever. But so it's almost like you have a good support with your fiance. You got your friends. You got. I mean, because it takes a village, and I think people lose sight of that. I mean, it really takes. That's something I didn't do that for a while. And I realized that last summer. I got to a low point in August that I talked about in my previous episodes, where I isolated myself too much. Everything else was going on around me. I was doing better, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? And so, man, I think that's one of the worst things somebody can do is just really isolate yourself. You gotta have friends. You gotta have a social life. I mean, that's how God made us, I mean, if you read, Christ was with everybody when he was on earth. He would go around and preach, and hundreds of people, thousands of people would gather and listen, and he would, always be open to everybody. That's how we have to be open. And, I think that's why doing something like this right here, you coming on today, telling your story, I think is really going to help. Even if it helps one person,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
And that would be
always somebody right where you are. Not only is there always somebody right where you are, but there's sometimes somebody even in a worse situation as well. Not that anybody's worse than the other. Bad is bad, but you know what I mean. And everybody's kind of gets to that point.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. Everybody gets to the point where oh, should I make this major life change, which are always scary. Even for your father's a great example. He was with that one company for over a decade. And there was a big switch.
Right.
And he had, in my mind, a lot more riding on it. He has this house, family, I rent and I have my fiance and 3 dogs. So
yeah.
But the fact, and he's a huge inspiration too, man. You're so lucky to have your father. Absolutely. I look up to him. And you're an inspiration too, for that matter, because it's not easy to get over anxiety, and especially do what you're doing now with this pod. I think it's awesome because
I appreciate it, brother.
I'm sure it's very therapeutic too, to a point, just being able to to talk and talk about what you go through, what others go through, share people's stories. I think that's really special. But yeah, it's sometimes you just gotta make the leap, and the leap, at the time, people might make fun of you for the leap. I know some people in the car business at my old job were probably dogging me. They're probably still dogging me. That's all right. They dogged me while I was there. They dogged me while I'm gone. But I'm in a good place, man. And quick shout out, Daily Pressed, downtown Akron. Come check it out. It's a bar. We should be opening in July, hopefully.
Okay. All right.
Gonna be a little cocktail lounge action, little Italian soda joint. It's gonna have maybe some Korean Japanese drinks up in there,
you said
some espresso.
What's it called again? Daily Press.
Daily Pressed.
Daily Pressed. Okay, Daily Pressed. All right, cool.
Craft drinks and cocktails. Oh yeah, it's right across the street from the Aero Stadium. Can't miss it.
Oh, perfect.
That was just a quick shout. Had to.
Oh, we got Corey in here. Corey's excited.
Hell yeah! That's fire, Corey.
By the way, the link is in the chat. So if anybody wants to come up here and join us, the link's in the chat. Just click on that link, and then it'll take you to another place, and you'll put your name in there, and I'll bring you up here.
Click on that link, Michalak.
Yeah, click on the link, Corey. We were
I haven't talked to Corey in a while. He invited me to his birthday. I felt so bad I couldn't go. Something came up. It was last minute. It was a
you
top golf.
Town, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Columbus, and I was maybe I can get home in time. And I was no, Columbus is 2 hours away. It's fire. There it is. Fire.
Yeah, it's fire. It's fire. The link is in the chat. Whoever wants to.
Link's in the chat. Come on up.
I'll post it again. The link is in the chat. Come on up. We want to talk to you. Yeah, just click on that link and then hit enter studio, and then you should pop up right here, and I'll bring you up. Yeah, man, how's your week going so far? You just you just working on this bar, getting it ready and everything?
Oh yeah, the bar, man. It's rewarding, but it's a lot of work. Sorry, I'm moving around. I had to grab something. But I've just been working on that today. Actually, me and the owner, we went to Cisco, which is a food company over in Cleveland, to try some recipes, because we're trying to get a good idea of European open-faced sandwiches. So we ate all this delicious food in the morning, prepared by a really good chef, and was all free of charge because they're trying to sell us stuff. And then we picked out the granite for the bar. So yeah, I've been pretty involved doing that. But that's what I've been doing a lot, writing, trying to work out this podcast with my god brother Malik. Quick shout out on that. It's going to be called Mike and Malik, because of alliteration. And we're going to be covering mainly sports. He loves college sports. He knows way more about college sports, college players more than me. Like I know about it draft day because like I watch the tape on the draftable players, but other than that, I'm pretty much NFL guy.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'll be looking forward to that. Listen to that podcast. So you said you and your god brother?
Yep, me and my god brother Malik.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that, man. Well, let me see here. I'm trying to see if anybody hits the link. I don't know if people are figuring this out or not.
Corey, it's real easy. It's real easy, Corey.
Yeah, just hit the button, Corey.
Just hit the button, Corey.
Just hit the button. Let's see what I know Dan wanted to come up here. I don't know where Dan is. I think Dan might have went to a baseball game, actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I think he wanted to come up here. I don't know if he might have had to go to this game.
Are the guards playing? They playing tonight?
Yeah, they're playing.
Is that what we're calling them now? The guards? Is that a thing?
What's going on, bro?
What's going on?
Oh, Corey! Look at who it is. Look at that hat.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
No, you're good. Hold on,
Hold on, I can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Is that better?
We can hear you just fine.
Hold on.
He's getting a lot more people call him than me.
Yeah, he's probably getting a phone call right now. But, yeah, man. So what do you think about the Browns this upcoming season? I know you're a diehard Browns fan like myself.
Diehard. I think if Ford plays the whole season, I think we have a good chance of winning the division.
I think so too. I think we can really go far. Maybe the conference championship. I mean,
I think it's a real possibility. The AFC is really going to be a dogfight, though. Like, I mean, yeah, the Browns got better, but so did everybody else.
Right. Everybody gets better. What's going on, Corey?
What's going on,
Corey?
So, have you been in here the whole time?
Been a minute.
What'd you say?
In a minute, Mike. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Oh, it has been a minute, buddy. It's good to see you. Liking the facial hair. It works.
Oh, you know. Where are you working at now?
Oh, I'm helping open a bar, man.
Oh, nice. Okay.
He's got some fire.
Got some fire on that line.
Who the heck is that?
That's my dad.
Oh my god. that's why in the chat I seen Falcons blow and I was like, dang.
Oh, I mean this one right here.
I mean, you guys will get there eventually. There it is.
Hey, we got Desmond Ritter, bro.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like Desmond
Ritter consolation prize.
And we got that rookie wide receiver from USC. So
I like Drake London. I like Drake London a lot.
He's all right.
He's throwing to him.
I might have took the Ohio State guys first, maybe because I'm biased, but
yeah,
that's still
Drake London's a bigger body. I think that's what they were looking for.
I wanted Garrett Wilson, but
yeah,
we can all agree though that the Jets had the best draft. Like I think that's
by far.
I don't know the Eagles. The Eagles too. The Eagles had a great draft.
I
mean to get AJ Brown,
and I really liked Jordan Davis. I really liked
Jordan Davis. Yeah, and Nakobe Dean went late. Like,
Nakobe Dean is a really boomer bust player in my opinion, right? Because he has so many health issues that require we found out surgeries and all this madness, right?
He's not even 100% right now.
Yeah. So he's a boomer bust guy. Can he be amazing? I really do think it. He showed those great flashes, but as soon as Quay Walker went before Nakobe Dean, I was like, oh, something's going on.
Quay Walker.
And Quay Walker is I like Quay Walker, but I thought Nakobe Dean was going to go before him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who I like. I like Perry and Winfrey.
I love Perry on Winfrey, man.
I think that's the greatest press conference to an introduction I've ever seen.
I'm a dog now. It's over with. I was listening to that man talk, and I was like, that dude talks like he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was super hyped.
That dude he's so excited. He's like, I got number 95 behind me. It's over with. Just I wanted them to take him at 44. The fact we were able to get him at 108 was an absolute win.
They were talking about him going to 44, but then he slid for some reason. I guess they
I
thought
don't
he
know
was a
why.
little too. They say he was a little too inconsistent in college, but a lot of that could be schematically too. You
guys heard about John Morant?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh,
it's terrible.
Yeah,
he was the
so
best player in the
sad, but,
playoffs.
like, that series would have been 7 games if he would have been healthy.
Oh yeah, I had Memphis winning it initially when Ja was healthy.
I like Memphis in that series. I really do.
I liked him too. I thought the best player in the playoffs. So I don't think he was even close. I mean, that dude, that game too, the stuff he was doing, it was one of the best. I think it's one of the best performances I've ever seen. No lie.
Yeah,
he took over. Time. It was Jordan-esque. It was like Kobe, or the guys just like, this is my game. I'm taking it over every shot.
And he's in year 2, guys. He's just in year 2.
Is it year 2 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, damn, just year 2. Shit.
Yeah,
damn.
that's
insane.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me, and I've heard this comparison from other like bigger sports analysts, is he is like the player that everybody compares him to is prime Derrick Rose, right?
Yeah, I've heard that,
and I see that. And when people compare that, it scares me, dude.
How many rings you got out?
How many rings you got out?
What's today? Today's what, the 10th? You got 30 out already, Corey?
Nah, I'm at 10.
Oh, by the way, if anybody doesn't know what rigs mean, we're talking about Corey's a car salesman, so we're asking how many cars he has out for the month, just to clarify. So
for everybody watching home, I worked with Corey at the car business.
Hey, Mike, to this day,
yeah,
I always tell everybody, dude, you are one of the greatest salespeople I've ever met. Just so you know, you sold a lady when you were dressed up as the Joker, bro. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this dude greeted this lady at her door, looking like the Joker. Like, what a savage! It don't get anything better than that.
You got the coat still? The
I do.
Coat?
I still got it on my
fur coat.
Oh, that is cool.
I still got the fur coat.
The fur coat.
My dude went into the meeting with the fur coat. What a savage.
Oh,
so at the company me and Corey worked for, Malibu Mike. at the company me and Corey worked for, they have they're very, I don't want to say strict. They're not really strict, but they're kind of heavy on like, you got to wear company wear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, gotta. I did everything in my power not to for the longest time. I think I was there at least 2 months before like they like really got on me. Like, hey man, you got there it is. There it is. Look at it, America.
Oh my God.
There it is. Hold on, there's that one.
That's a good one. That's my best. That's the best post. Yeah, that one.
Right,
that was a post on Facebook. I had 110 likes from people I've never met before.
This is my favorite one right here, and a lot of people like this one as well.
The grit.
Oh yeah, look at that seeing the grit.
Come buy a car from this guy.
A late night sale right there.
That was a late night sale, and that was that Movember. We all had to have mustaches, and I was like, I'm gonna rock a little handlebar Fu Manchu action.
There you go.
Look at it. Like, come buy a car from me.
Yeah.
That is a hell of an ad right there.
Oh my gosh.
So Corey, did you hear most of our coverage? How long have you been up here for? You been listening?
Yeah.
So what did you think of our conversation? Anything you want to add to it? Some things we talked about, or what do you got to say?
Yeah, I deal with the anxiety as well. Every day. So I mean, it's a struggle. Watching your videos and then Mike talking about it, it's definitely inspiring. I ain't gonna lie.
That's right.
Sorry about that. We have to comment. Don't eat those snacks, Mike.
Don't eat those snacks, Mike.
We had at the company we worked for. We had a tray only for the customers. I would always eat those snacks.
Oh, dude, I kill the snacks every day.
Yeah, you gonna send those flowers too.
Oh. But oh god, yeah, because either me or Corey would always have a late night deal, and I'd be like, Corey would have a late night deal. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and eat like 3 bags of peanuts.
Mhm.
Joe, your dad would just look at me and he'd be like, "You're not supposed to be eating those snacks." I'm like, "Are you gonna stop me?" He's like, "No."
Hey, what are you gonna do about it? It's my stuff. No, sorry, Corey. Me cut you off. What were you saying?
Yeah, sorry.
No,
That
it's
was a
all
good
good.
tangent.
No, I was just saying that every day I deal with anxiety. So when I hear other people talking about their stories and everything, it kind of it's inspiring. So it kind of doesn't make it so hard every day, that I know that other people deal with what I deal with. So that's pretty awesome.
And how old are you now?
31.
31.
31 years young.
We're all kind of relatively around the same age in some way. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all younger guys. So what I'd ask you guys is, what do you guys think is, especially for younger people where we are, what do you guys think we need more of when it comes to anxiety and just, helping people more?
I think, at least for me, like, obviously, like you said, not staying isolated.
Mhm.
Like, and like, isolation isn't just bad for you mentally, it's bad physically, because like,
Mhm.
and I hate to get into like, I don't want to just say like, oh, you just gotta go outside and go for a walk, it'll make you feel better, but it really does, like, in a weird way, because you isolate yourself inside, you get agoraphobic, and I've been there. Really just going outside, going on a little hike, getting some vitamin D, which actually has to do with the receptors in your brain for depression and anxiety. Like, the more vitamin D you get, the less anxious you will be, I think,
Right.
is an actual study.
Just giving back to your body.
Yeah. Like, obviously, like, there are things to do. Like, obviously, if you have panic disorder, like, there are things you got to realize, grounding yourself, breathing techniques, all of that's important. But also just taking care of yourself physically is going to help your mental a lot too. Because you take care of everything else, your brain will be happy. You know what I mean? So like, making sure you get a lot of sleep, and making sure you're eating right, getting some exercise, releasing endorphins any way you can. And doing it that way, like, not only helps, you physically, but it'll help your mental state in a long time. So that's another big thing. Because like, with anxiety, like, I feel it, like, Joe, you talked about it, like, and I was right there. And Corey, I know we've had many conversations on the way to work about like dealing with anxiety, and you being like, well, how do you deal with it? And I was like, I don't know, I deal with it this way. How do you usually deal with it? And we just talk about it, but really start small, start physically as much as you can, even if it's something small, like incorporate more water into your daily life, like something small like that, but it actually goes a long way.
Yeah, I feel like we need more people like Joseph, like
absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Just helping people out, and just just being there to listen and or talk to them, so.
So you talk about isolation, Mike. I want to real quick before we get going is I feel like that's a really big thing. I feel like especially a lot of people our age, that you guys might attest to this. I know, Mike, you have, and Corey, I'm sure. I know you and I have talked about things even recently about stuff you're going through or I'm going through. What I guess what I'm saying is, I think a lot of times with isolation is we don't really communicate well nowadays in our age group. Like, we're so into social media, everything's texting. There's no real like getting together, hanging out. There's no real communication. And I could even say, like, in terms of, like, for example, dating, somebody like myself, a lot of guys are afraid to approach a girl nowadays because everything's so sensitive. You know what I mean? You're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing. I'm just using an example. Really anything,
Right.
So what do you guys think about that? Maybe why that could be part of isolation is we're not afraid to open up. That was me for a while. I was afraid to really be open. I was concealing what I was going through because I was afraid of embarrassment and stuff like that. So what do you guys think in terms of that with communication and stuff? How we can all help each other?
I'll let you go first, Corey.
I would say social media has definitely killed everything. I mean, you go on Facebook, you see you know, you're just scrolling down Facebook and you see something that could trigger your anxiety. Sometimes it happens to me. I mean, just see something. I feel like we don't need social media as much as we do. And especially dating now, like you said, it's a lot harder to find somebody, you know, just, hey, going out, you know, normally nowadays everybody goes on social media to find somebody. And it's a lot difficult, I think, of just going out and just hanging out with people, and either they're on their phone or, you know, they're not socializing face to face. It's all about text messaging or, you know, a lot of the social media stuff. But I feel like if we could figure out a way to kind of change the culture, but it's going to be a little difficult nowadays. With social media being such a big impact in everybody's life. But I don't know. I feel like we could just figure out a way to.
No, I think those are great points. I think
that's a great point.
Social media, I mean,
it kills a lot. It kills relationships. It kills.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, now you have this thing now with what's this whole meta world thing they're doing, metaverse, or all this crazy stuff they're doing, where it's taking everybody out of reality. You know, nobody's really in tune with reality anymore. And you know, like Mike, you were talking about earlier, being present, and that's so key because most people, that's how we're not present. We're so in tune with what's going on the phone.
Yeah.
And then, like you, Corey said, I have that, like, especially with, excuse me, when you have health anxiety, Dr. Google, you see something, gets in your head, and then now you're just too internal. You don't get out of that world. And a lot of times you isolate yourself.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I would agree on the social media stuff. It's definitely, it's not good for you mentally, right? Like, and like, especially to touch on like dating, I can't really speak for myself because I'm lucky to have met someone, you know, relatively early in my life that I've been with at this point for 8 years. But with, you know, dating for young men now is, you know, it's difficult, you know, it's hard. And especially with like, you know, and it's silly to say, but like, it's not touched on enough. Like, you know, they always touch on like female, you know, beauty standards, which is, you know, it's a real thing, you know, like that, you know, women feel driven to be this certain way, even though, you know, it's impossible to attain or really hard to attain. You know, it's the same thing with men.
Everything's aesthetically pleasing though.
Right. You know, same thing with men, you know, like, and with us, I feel like it's more income driven, you know, like, oh, you know, if you're a man and you're not making at least $75,000 a year, you're a loser. You know, like I always got that. Oh, Dan's in the chat. Look at him. There he is.
Hey, Dan, you got the link.
Hey, Danny boy.
But Mike, you finish up. I'm gonna see if I get Dan to hit the link if he's. I don't know.
Yeah, get him in here.
But you're making a great point. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's just a big thing, man. Social media is so unhealthy for just your. You know, it's a useful tool in its initial, like, what it was made for, right? It was made for staying in contact with people that you might not talk to in a long time.
Right.
Like I look at Corey's Facebook, you know, like Corey said, me and Corey haven't talked in a while. He's a good friend of mine, but we just haven't talked to adults, busy lives, all that stuff. But I've checked on his Facebook wall. I'll be like, I wonder how Corey's doing. How's the puppy? How's his son doing? All that, you know, all that good stuff. So like,
but I think too, it's part of life. It's something I've learned. You know, I've had friends that have to, close friends that have to go. You know, they went away to college, they're going on with their life. You know, they can do what's best for them. And so naturally, you're not going to communicate as much. You know, and so, but with that, it's very easy to just kind of like die away with that. Take that feeling and just let it control you. You know, like, I'm never going to have that many friends again, or I'm never going to, you know, have that again. Well, you actually, excuse me. Yeah, you will. And so you got to allow yourself to be vulnerable. That's really what it is. Just being vulnerable.
Absolutely. And you know, and it really comes down to just, you know, you got to have confidence in yourself at the end of the day. Like, just do your utmost to be, you know, maintain your relationship with God, with the people that matter to you, your family, your friends. And like, quit holding yourself to society's standard, because society's standard is always going to be unattainable. It's always going to be unattainable because, you know, there's always going to be someone making more money than you. There's always going to be someone more attractive than you. There's always going to be, someone funnier than you, or, it's just, that's the way of life. You got 7 billion people on this planet.
Right. And I would ask, what I'd always say too is, especially if you're a believer, God made us all, we all have something unique about us.
Right.
We're all, there's only one of us.
For example, Corey is the best salesperson I've ever met. Like he said I was. I can
attest to that. He's
a liar. Corey has the work ethic of a 50-year-old car veteran. This dude sells over 20 cars a month every month. And that just never happened. Like when I was at his company, like I never did that. Like I did that at my old company, but like, nah. Like
I appreciate it.
That's a lie.
I can attest to that. I've heard about Corey at work, and
Corey's
the top dog. Corey's the top dog where he is.
Hey,
it got to the point with Corey, like I would be like, other people would get upset at him because of how well he was doing. I wasn't upset. I was just curious. I was just like, hey man, how are you doing that?
Where
are they coming from? I'm up on the door too. Where are they walking in, man?
There was a lot of haters.
Huh?
That was the problem. There's a lot of haters, man. I mean,
it's the haters.
That's what happens when you start getting successful. That's what happens a lot of times. People start getting. It's like Mike, you and I were talking about earlier. When you talk about growing up in the church, you get to that point. You know what? I don't want to. I'm not going to be who you want me to be. People start to get angry with these. They start to hate you almost.
Yeah.
And, hold on here. I don't know if Dan's going to join or not. I don't know if he's trying. What's that? Cat grinds?
Cat grinds. Is that an inside joke, Corey? I don't know that one.
He'd be like, that cat.
That cat. Oh, that cat grinds.
Oh, I see. It could have worked.
You missed a word, Joe. You know what I just noticed since I've been staring at myself in this camera?
What's that?
I am the bargain bin Nick Wright.
You are kind of a little bit of Nick Wright.
Yeah, it's a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit. What'd she say? Oh, she said haters are jealous. Okay. Yeah. She's not lying.
I mean, for an example, I remember when Mike first came to Vanderveer.
Oh, hold on. We can't say names now. We can't say company name.
Oh, no.
That's all right. No, I'm just
the company.
When he first
redacted.
Yeah, that company.
I didn't really know much about you, but I knew you were definitely something special. And I was like, this dude's gonna sell like 30 cars a month.
Never came.
He would sell his 15, 20, and be like, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, got tired. Got all tuckered out.
Yeah.
You could sell 30.
You see, everybody always. That's one thing about the car business. Everybody was like, "Oh man, you're a 20 car guy, Mike. You're a 20 car guy. You just got to put more work in." And the thing about the car business, and again, I love the people I met. Like Corey, love your dad, your family, Joe, love. Dan, who I don't know is going to be joining us or not, absolutely love. Dan a lot, great human being. But yeah, the actual act of selling cars, like Mike's a gross pig. And for everybody watching at home, what he means when he says that, you have two in the car business. You generally have two separate pay plans for different companies, right? So some companies have volume, which is the company me and Corey used to work at, is volume based. So you get paid X amount of dollars if you sell X amount of cars. Then other companies, which is the company I worked at with Joseph's father, had gross profit pay plans. So with a gross profit pay plan, you get paid, 8 rigs, exactly, 15K. Like you can make some mad money just off of gross profit. And when he said pig, this is a terminology.
Somebody else has hit the room. Hold on.
We got Big Mike in the critter. Oh, it's Colton.
Hold on, I'll put the link in the chat in case he wants to come up here. Hold on 1 second.
Big Mike and the Critter.
Hey, Mike, where are you living at? You still at the same place?
The link is in the chat.
What was that?
You still in Stowe? You still live in Stowe?
Around Stowe, yes.
Nice.
We're live. Let's not get into addresses. But I'll text you.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to put somebody's personal information out there.
Don't dox me, Corey. Are you trying to dox me?
Yeah, the link is in the chat. I don't know where Dan. I think Dan's at a baseball game. I don't think that's. Maybe I can get him the.
Dan's got to go to the troughs, man. He's got to join us from the troughs in the bathroom.
Right. He needs to join us. It'd be cool. Imagine if he joined us right from the stands. Like
that'd be cool. Are the guards playing? Are they playing?
I think he's at the Rubber Ducks game.
They win last night. They hit a grand slam. I was watching.
Oh, dude, Josh Naylor playing like Francisco Lindor. Dude hit a grand slam to tie it in the 9th.
Yeah,
and then he hit a 3-homer. He hit a home run, scored 3 points in the 11th to win the game. Josh Naylor's an absolute dog.
That's all. Excuse me.
I love that game. That game was like, oh yeah, the White Sox suck.
Watching the
that pitcher, the closer, he's nice on the White Sox. I forget his name. He's like
they got some good players.
So you guys are watching the NBA playoffs, I'm guessing?
I'm watching it right now.
Oh yeah.
Miami's up 54-36.
54-36.
Jesus.
So who do you guys like the rest of the day? Or rest of the who do you like going all the way to the finals?
I think we're going to get a repeat of last year, if I'm honest. Dolan does suck. I agree, Joe. He sucks so bad. I want him to sell the team. I am happy that he fed us the breadcrumbs and paid Jose Ramirez, because if he didn't, I was going to be done with the franchise.
I thought Jose was gone.
I thought he was gone too.
You just assumed he's out. Like, okay, we lost Lindor. He's gone.
Yeah, no, we all assumed. Like, I was like,
farm system.
Cleveland don't pay nobody in baseball.
I will play anybody anywhere outside of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, I mean, kudos to the Browns. They paid the players that matter. They're doing the Rams plan, right? We're paying our number one receiver, Amari Cooper. We're paying Deshaun Watson. Paying our pass rusher, Myles Garrett. Yeah, Dolan is cheap as hell. And then we're paying Denzel Ward. We just made the highest paid corner in the league.
And the salary cap really doesn't matter in the NFL. I mean,
I love the shirt that's like the salary cap's not real.
It's not real. Like, it's just really not real. Like, Cleveland could get all these guys under one. The Cavs can never do that. They couldn't. I mean, Indians sure as hell can't. So
yeah. Oh Jesus!
Excuse me, the Guardians. I didn't mean to say the Indians. Excuse me, but
the guards. I find it easier if I call them the guards.
Yeah,
because I don't hate that. I don't hate that nickname. I don't hate it.
I don't care anymore. As long as the team's all right, I'm like, whatever.
The Cleveland baseball team.
I mean, baseball is my least watched out of the three. So
me too. I mean, it's still Cleveland sports, so I feel like I gotta represent. And obviously Corey loves his Braves. Corey's an Atlanta fan with everything, but the Braves won the series last year, so
world champs.
Yeah, there you go. Enjoy it.
That's the last one you got your Bulldogs too won the national championship.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was dumb. I turned that game off. I was like, Alabama's winning. It was like the end of the second. I turned it off, and I missed all the good plays. I missed all of it.
They had
players got drafted out of
7
Georgia.
first rounders from Georgia.
I know. It's wild. Insane. Here's a good football question. Out of all of the Georgia players drafted, who do you guys think is going to have the best career? That's a great question. Out of all the Georgia players drafted this year, who do you think is going to have the best career?
I hope for his own sake, the number one pick, his name always slips my mind for some reason.
Trayvon Walker.
I hope Trayvon Walker pans out to be who the number one pick, because if he doesn't, they're going to turn him into
still think
they're going to put a label on him and
right.
say he's a bust, which I don't agree with. I think making it that far is incredible, but
yeah,
I hope Trayvon Walker.
I got to stick with my gut. I think Nakobe Dean is going to be.
And he fell.
And he might be coming in with a little chip on his shoulder. He fell. He thought he was going to be a first-round pick, if not that, early second. falls to, when did he get drafted? The late third, early fourth, late third.
Late third.
He got drafted.
Late third.
Yeah,
He fell.
late
He was
third.
fall.
Yeah. So who I think is going to have the best career is I'm still going to go with Jordan Davis. He's learning from Fletcher Cox. And I know you're into analytics, Joe, but just the metrics on that kid. Like, the kid runs faster than Patrick Mahomes on his 40 time, and he weighs
like
310.
40.
He's a freak.
He ran like a 4.49 or some crazy shit like that. 4.49, 4.5.
Well, I remember one of my best friends, and like one of my closest friends, Deshaun Martin. He's an assistant coach, or now he's a student coach for Cincinnati. And Cincinnati played against Georgia last year in the Peach Bowl. And I remember I asked him, I said, how was Jordan Davis in person? I watched that game with this number 99. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? This guy's huge.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man, in person, that guy was a freak, like massive.
Yeah.
Just,
if the Browns would have stayed in the first round, that's who I wanted them to take, is Jordan Davis.
He has no motor. Oh, just shoot down tonight, aren't you?
I think he's gonna have the best career, Joe. I really do. I look at the metrics. You know, he's still young. He's younger than Devontae Wyatt, and I know a lot of people have said like the Browns would have taken Devontae Wyatt if he was in the first round, which is BS because Devontae Wyatt's 24 and we don't pick people under 22. I think it is.
Yeah.
That's just how the Browns, their age guardrails. But I think Jordan Davis is going to have the best career. Or here's not a super sexy pick to have a great career, but I think Lewis Seen, man. Like Lewis Seen is like unsung hero.
Yeah.
He's really underrated.
Yeah, like unsung hero of that defense. Like I think like Kyle Hamilton is a dog, but I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple years we look at Lewis Seen and be like, he was the better safety coming out of that draft.
He played better competition. I mean,
he did.
He went against the best every week. The SEC, I think, is the best. It's
by
deeper.
far.
It's deeper. It's bigger. It's faster. It's stronger. But the guy I think who had the most talent, but I didn't know he had a lot of red flags coming out. So we'll see how it pans out. Is George Pickens.
Oh yeah.
George Pickens.
Who would have guessed, guys, that the Steelers pick a controversial wide receiver with character issues?
I thought the Browns.
Stop me if you heard that
44. Yeah. I thought the Browns might pick him at 44, but I didn't know.
He's got to be careful. He's injury prone.
He's injury prone, but I didn't know there's a lot of red flags either. They're talking about off the field or maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean, he fought dudes
because if you look at George Pickens before his first major injury in college. People forget last year he was playing injured most of the year and he still was dominant. But that dude on tape before that injury, he would have been right up there with Olave, Wilson, Drake London. He went up there with all those guys.
Right.
James Cook is going to be nice too in the NFL. I forget where he got drafted.
Oh, he went to the Bills. He's going to have a great career.
Yeah. Bills, yeah.
Yeah, he'll fit right in.
I think that's Dalvin Cook's cousin.
Is it?
Brother. It's his brother. It's his little brother.
So, Corey, what do you think of how the Bulldogs look? What do you think? I know you're a big college football guy. What do you think going into the next year? What's the SEC looking like? Because I know you pay attention more to that than we do.
And I'll be right back, gentlemen.
No, you're good.
Put a momentum.
It's gonna be difficult, losing all those guys. I think a team that's really gonna be up there next year or this year coming up. I think Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Florida. Alabama's probably going to be the dominant team.
Right.
But yeah, losing all those great players, it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting though.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I really like A&M as well. I like Jimbo Fisher. I like what he's done down there. I think he's.
Oh yeah, I like Jimbo.
What, he had the number one recruiting class this year.
Yeah.
They're loaded down there, and so it's gonna be a battle. So, do you think Georgia has a good chance to defend the conference title, or?
It's gonna be tough. Kirby Smart.
I mean, they lost a lot. When you lose a lot like that, it's tough to.
Yeah.
That's kind of where Ohio State was last year. A lot of youth.
I was about to say that, man.
Yeah, a lot of youth last year.
Yeah, he took the top. You know, you got.
Sorry, Jeff, I had to grab myself another cerveza. Well, cerveza action.
Well, cerveza. So what's your go-to drink, Modelo?
Oh, good call. Yeah, you've seen it. You saw it while I was drinking.
I saw it earlier. Yeah. Well, you mentioned it earlier too. You're like, I'd rather sit at home and drink a Modelo.
I did say that, didn't I? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Modelo is my go-to, like one of my go-to beers of choice. I think it tastes better than Corona, and you put a lime in it, and I think the flavor profile is a little bit stronger than Corona. Corona's a little too light.
Right.
I like my beers to be.
No, I get it. I don't know if Dan's even in here anymore. Is Dan in
here? This is a good conversation. Now, here's the thing about at least the Browns draft. I think we had a sneaky good draft, which is a lot of people are saying. I really like the David Bell pick.
That's my favorite.
PBR too. I've drinking myself some PBRs. Me and Corey would throw down the Platts. Me and we'd grab a couple of 6-packs of Platts and just play Madden. And he'd kick my ass. I get so upset.
Oh, you kicked your ass in Madden?
Well, he was talking.
Oh, he would destroy me, dude.
It was about 2K.
I'm better at 2K now, though.
Yeah,
I am much better at 2K. A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. All right. A little bit improved.
What's your thoughts on Deshaun Watson, Mike?
From a football perspective, right? I feel like we have to preface it with that. I think it's amazing. I think he's going to be our quarterback for the next decade. And I think basically what our front office did was essentially pry the Super Bowl window open for the foreseeable future. Because everybody was like, oh, well, after this year, Super Bowl window's closed for the Browns. And Andrew Berry was like, well, I have $230 million that says it isn't.
All guaranteed.
All guaranteed, every single cent.
Yeah.
And
I wanted him on my team.
I know. You were like, I saw you on
I thought
Facebook.
You had him. I texted Corey the night before. I was like, dude, it's done. He's going to Atlanta. I was like, I saw some things. I was like,
about to celebrate, man.
Yeah, I was like, it's all over. I was like, I'm looking at the draft of like Malik Willis for the Browns. I'm like,
I know. I was doing the same thing. I'm like, is Kenny Pickett worth it? Is he gonna be okay? Like,
I'm like, not again. We got to go through this again. It's just like hoping. And then I'm just sitting there that day at 3:00. I think it was like 3, almost 4:00. And I get this alert on my phone. It's like the Browns trade for Deshaun Watson. I'm like, I had to look twice. I was like, wait a minute. I thought they were ruled out.
I thought it was from a fake account at first until I kept seeing people post it.
And I
was like, there's no way that's real.
I saw it was legit. And I was just like, holy crap. Like, what happened? And everybody just ran downstairs. Like, we got Deshaun Watson. I was calling people. I was like, holy smokes.
Oh, dude. I was on the phone with my stepbrother Chandler. And, like, I legit broke his eardrum, I'm pretty sure. Because, like, I was, like, half-heartedly talking to him on the phone, and then I, like, go on Twitter, and then I saw, like, Adam Schefter tweet it, and then I made sure it was real. I was like, oh!
Right.
We got him!
Yeah, I remember I called my dad, too. He used to work with Corey. Everybody said Corey was already walking towards him, just shaking his head like, man.
Oh, yeah, I knew it. I was in the back receipting money at the cashier, and my phone went off, and I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Not again.
Not be happy.
Well, if you wanted him, at least he's close to you now. You can go watch him. He's just not going to be wearing your colors.
Then we end up trading Matty Ice,
that
I respect, and I've watched him, since 2013?
Hell yeah. And I think that was just your front office being nice because they were like, we're in a rebuild. There's no point in keeping him here. Let's try and get him to succeed elsewhere.
Some good years left, too.
Here's the thing. Matt Ryan, once the Falcons were trying to pursue Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan was automatically thinking in his head, like, he's like, I'm out. Like, he was ready to move on, I think, after he heard all the rumors, and he just wanted a new place to go to and just try to, because we were so close from winning that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
and he deserves a ring. So I'm glad for him to go to the Colts, and I think it's a great fit for him. I think that's automatically a playoff team. I mean, they got a great defense, great running game already.
That's
You
good
add him
weapons
on the
over there
team,
too.
so
See, I think I'll agree with you that the Colts, I think, were the best fit for him, right?
Mhm.
I failed. I don't know. I don't know if it's a playoff team. Like, if this were like 5 years ago, playoff team, right? But like the AFC is just so tight right now.
last year they had what's his name, and they
Carson
could have made the playoff. Yeah.
No, the Colts are
Now
really good. Colts are really
but
balanced.
they got beat by the Jags.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor is arguably the best running back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he's top 3. In no particular.
You got Darius
Derrick
Leonard,
Henry and probably Nick Chubb, right?
I put Nick Chubb number 1. He's a Georgia boy, but he's the best running back in the game.
I love Nick Chubb.
I agree
there's
with that.
somewhere we can agree, right?
Nick Chubb, what did he squat? 667 pounds.
675 pounds, like with nothing.
Right, dude's a freak.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I still think that until further notice, that's still the Titans division, and like I want to say like, oh, the Browns will win the division this year because I'm such a homer. I don't know. Like,
the Browns,
still think
the Browns will win the North. It'll be tough.
I hope.
Then
I hope you're right.
It's going to go neck and neck.
Honestly, my hottest take for this season, I have 2 hot takes, right? I think the Broncos are way overrated. I really do.
I agree.
I don't see everybody's like, oh, they're plug and play Super Bowl team, and I'm like, I've never seen that out of them.
I think the Chargers are going to be that team to beat in the West.
The Chargers are a way better team. The Chargers are a scary good team. I mean, look at
Justin
that.
Herbert. Justin Herbert is phenomenal.
Oh, he's top 10, top 5 quarterback, arguably top 8 at least. And then you got Austin Eckler in the backfield. You got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Now you bolstered the defense. You got the Bosa. Like, boy, most Lamar Jackson's.
I love Lamar Jackson.
I'm loving these.
Somebody hit the link.
I'm one of those guys that, like, I think the Steelers are going to be bad, but, like, at this point, like, I thought the Steelers were going to be bad for so many years. I have to see the body before I'm able to say it. Like, show me the body. Like, I need to see it.
I think the Bengals, Browns, it's going to be neck and neck.
I think the Bengals missed the playoffs.
I think the Bengals.
I think they get a little Super Bowl slump going. I really do.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see. I think it'd be the Browns and the Ravens. The Ravens are always consistent. I mean,
the Ravens are going to be healthier.
The only problem with the Ravens, they lost Hollywood Brown.
They didn't replace him. It's the problem. Lamar never had it. They never given Lamar.
Never had a wide receiver really that
Their best year is his MVP year. They didn't really have a receiver.
They should have spent the money and got AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they're going to run heavy. I think they're going to run the same offense that Stefanski was running last year. I think it's going to be all heavy personnel. Yeah,
I mean, like offense they run now with the pistol formation, and it's great. It works for them. A lot of play action, pass. A
lot of tight ends.
Yeah,
because that Isaiah Likely kid, pretty good. I really liked his.
You got a question in the.
Yeah. Is that when he splashed green tea all over?
Yeah, this is your one-on-one basketball game with your old boss.
I heard about this story.
Oh my god!
I didn't hear about this.
Why is this a story that's never going to limit?
I wish Dan was up here right now because Dan was the one that really pushed that too. Like,
did he?
He made like flyers and put them around the whole.
He did. He did. Yeah. Dan was a showman, man. Dan was an absolute showman. I feel like he's wasting himself being in the car business, if you ask me. That dude should be in a circus, man. He should be in Vegas doing something. I'm telling you, that dude is a showman.
Yeah.
But all right,
I'll talk tonight, but I don't know where. I think he's at that game.
Nah, it's fine. We're having a good conversation. Good view. But so here's the story, ladies and gentlemen. I was in the car business. I don't know how many years ago this was at this point. It might be 3, might be 4. Might be 5. Might be 5 at this point. But I had a bet for $100 that I could beat my, at the time, 54-year-old floor manager in a basketball game. Gentleman's name is Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Vince is about 6'4", right around there. Did you say, Joe, I'm right? Was he about 6'4"? Taller than me. I'm 6'1".
Is he about 6'4"? Vince about 6'4"? 6'2". 6. Yeah, you're right, Ernest. You're in the ballpark.
6'2", and he was like
Okay.
45, 46 at the time.
Yeah, so he's taller than me.
Yeah.
And he's talking. He's like, I bet I could beat you. I'm like, I bet you $100 you can't beat me.
A lot more muscular you were too, right? A lot bigger than
I
you.
know. Yeah. He was bigger than me. He was a big dude.
Yeah.
So we all plan it, right? We plan it. Memorial Day sale before we do it. Like before the sale starts, because it's a late day at work, we're gonna go down to the park in Barberton, and we're gonna play a game. The whole, like a good portion of the dealership shows up to watch us fucking play basketball.
I remember that.
1-on-1. I start hot. I start real hot. He goes up for a layup. I block his shot. He's taller than me. I block his shot. I return. I hit a 3. You know, we're playing. You know, 2s are 1s, 3s are 2s. But so I hit a 3 right after. I'm like, oh, I got this in the bag. I was the guy that could shoot 3s. That's my biggest. Like I was laser on that.
Mm-hmm.
I had already been at that park though for like 45 minutes, like practicing, right? So I'm already tired, and now I'm running around. I'm playing defense. I'm shooting. I'm trying. He just works me, right? He's pushing me down the court. He's pushing me everywhere. I can't compete. I'm just running everywhere. I'm looking terrible. I hit one more 3, and that was it. And I lose. I basically let him walk in through the layup. I give him $100 gift card. I was so hot, and I had no water. I bought a mint tea. I don't know why. It was a mint tea. It was one of the Pure Leaf teas. I really like mint tea.
So you showed up to a basketball game with a tea.
I showed up with a mint tea, and I took a sip of
water, a tea.
No, a mint tea.
No
I took one sip
Powerade,
of that thing, and then I was so hot, I poured it all over my freaking head, and I still had to work that day. I still had to go to work right after it.
Oh man,
great story.
The rig.
I don't remember if I saw the rig or not. I can't remember that, but I do
probably
remember.
Not. You're probably still pissed off about that 1-on-1.
I was pretty mad. I was getting dogged on that for a while, and as you can see, I still do every now and then.
Yeah,
Mike has no motor. I don't. Not anymore. I'm a salvage title. What can I say?
A salvage title.
Did you play any? Was you play any sports growing up?
Yeah, I played basketball and football.
Oh, okay. And Corey, you played a lot of sports, didn't you? Or were you baseball?
Yeah, I played baseball for 14 years.
Oh, okay. All right,
I wish I would have played baseball. I have the frame for baseball.
Yeah, you really do.
I love the game.
You might have been a nice pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have played baseball or golf or something like that.
I wish I would have started golf, way earlier in my life. I love golf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wish I could get into it, man. I really do. I guess I've never been though. I just can't get into golf.
It's very relaxing.
Hold on. Somebody. Oh, there you go. Corey claims he could throw 80 miles an hour.
Are you willing to bet $100 Amazon gift card on that?
It is prime, he said. It is prime.
It is prime.
We need the tape. You got the tape?
You got the tape?
You got the records? We need some data. We need some footage. We need something to prove this. I want to see this myself.
Hey,
80 miles an hour, huh?
I told your dad, get me the radar gun. Bring the radar gun in.
Bring the radar gun.
Radar gun. And I bet you I throw in the 70s still.
Okay. That's pretty good. I'll get a radar gun. We'll make it happen. I'll get a radar gun.
If you played for 14 years, I'll believe it.
I could see that. I mean, you're built like a pitcher, so.
Oh yeah. You even wear your hat like one.
Center field.
Okay. Yeah. 80 miles an hour. I want to see that. Yeah, we need some. We need to go back and find some tape or something. We need something to prove that.
Some Macalac footage.
Yeah, we need some footage.
Back at Trails End, dude. Oh man, I used to love that.
Oh yeah, that's where I grew up. Played Trails End.
Yeah, I played at Trails End, Waterworks. I played at North.
Mm-hmm.
Great memories, man.
I like North. North Complex is nice.
North Complex, yeah. When you stepped on that field, you felt like you was playing at like I don't know, like the Coliseum or something. It was crazy.
Yeah. You know, the nicest field I've ever seen was actually, it's out in Boardman. It's called the Field of Dreams. And Bernie Kosar, the old Browns legend quarterback, made it. Mm-hmm. And that's the nicest field. Between each, and this is Little League, between each game, they would come out and rake the field. Like it was like a pro baseball. They'd water it. It was the nicest. If you looked at a Field of Dreams. And maybe
I played it. We traveled all the way to Pittsburgh, too, when we played.
Yeah. That's nice.
There. Yeah, baseball was definitely my passion. Mm-hmm. My forced me to play, and I hated it in the beginning, and then I just fell for it.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some? You guys got any thoughts you guys want to talk about? Maybe we talk before we go, or Mike, you got anything else you want to hit on, or Corey?
Corey, how confident you feeling in Desmond Ritter?
I like Ritter. I like Ritter. Just give me your.
I got more confidence in Ritter than I do in Marcus Mariota. Let's just put it that way. And Mariota here's the thing. Mariota's not that bad of a quarterback. He's
he's been in the playoffs, right? With the Titans, didn't he go to the playoffs a couple times?
Yeah. He had a couple
2-3 years ago.
Last year where Derek Carr got injured, he would come in, on a Monday night game, and he had his little moments, but in the NFL, you got to have that firepower quarterback, or you're not going to win it. I mean, look at Tampa Bay. The guy's 45 years, 46, whatever he is. He just got a 10-year, $375 million contract before he even retires yet from Fox, Tom Brady. And that dude is he's the GOAT.
You're on dope. What about Marcus? Is he talking about Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, he's Marcus
Mariota bad. He had good highlights last year when he came in. If you pull it up, he had some highlights.
I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's bad.
I would take.
He's okay.
I would take Mariota over Baker Mayfield.
See, here's the thing. I am glad the Browns upgraded, right? And I think we can all agree on that, right? I'm still grateful for everything Bake did, right? He made Cleveland football exciting again. The last time it was exciting,
right?
Oh, and fun fact, Derek Anderson was probably the most exciting season we'd had. Also, the last Browns quarterback to be in a Pro Bowl. Baker Mayfield never went to one. Derek Anderson did. But
there you go. That take me over Baker.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I'm still grateful for everything he did, but, like, I think it's funny, like, the rap he's getting. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't pick Matt Corral and Sam Darnold over Baker. I wouldn't be riding in with Drew Lock and Geno Smith over
That's basically
Baker.
what those teams did. They told you.
Like, they were like, your quarterback is...
Yeah, they think... we think Matt Corral's better than Baker. I thought he was getting...
Yeah, we're going to ride with Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Why take Baker? We're tanking for Bryce Young. Why would we ever take Baker? I don't blame them if they do get Bryce Young. Hell.
Yeah. Who do you
think? Stroud.
I think Stroud. Yeah, I think Stroud will be number one next year.
Really? I think Bryce Young has a higher ceiling. Or that.
No, I think Stroud's better.
Where's that cat from Notre Dame that everybody's talking about?
Hold on. Somebody has something to say to you, Mike. He doesn't deserve to go by Bake.
All right. Maker Bayfield. We'll call him that.
Yeah.
I just hope it comes to an end. I think what ends up happening with Baker is,
I think he's going to get cut.
Yeah, I think he's going to be like, hey, I'll eat X amount of dollars of my salary if you just cut me, and the Browns will be like, bet.
Yeah, nobody's going to trade for him. Would you give up a second rounder, third rounder for him? I wouldn't. I wouldn't give up any. not after the last year, but really, if you look, his rookie year, okay, he was pretty good. Second
Right.
year, he was not good
God
at all.
awful.
Third year, okay, yeah, he
Pretty
was good. He was pretty good, not great, but he was good. Had some great moments. And then last year, I know he was injured, and I think that was part of it, but it's like, yeah, but it's like he could have been a little better. Like there were some misses, like some bad throws. You're just like,
Oh,
and the way the
dude, like that Lions game and the Christmas game did it for me. The Christmas game was fun to watch. Like that ruined
the Lions game to me was it. Like, but
should have
even
been
that was
more.
if you watch early in the year, like the Chargers game, you know, he actually had a 300-yard game, that if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah,
you could see the
like
coach.
he's
you could
just
see the
too
coaching
chaotic.
staff.
Man.
There was a report that came out recently that said Baker felt like the coaching staff kind of turned on him, and I actually kind of agree with that in a way, because not in a sense where I don't think not that they like put him out there to make him fail. I just think he was never their guy.
I agree with that.
You can tell by the play calling, it was handicapped. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, we'll let you do this, but
play calling was very suspect.
It was very limited.
See,
it looked very handicapped.
I can kind of see what you're saying, but like there's a bunch of film and tape that you could see where Stefanski will call a play. You know, all the receivers are open, or Baker doesn't go to his second read. Like I don't know how many. Like I'm not even talking about the Odell film, right? Like Odell maybe not like freelance routes and was able to get open, but like
50.
Yeah, 50-50. But I'm more talking about like the film where you see Jarvis like is open in a wide open window that's really easy for a quarterback to fit in right in the middle of the field. Like great place to throw to. And Baker either just didn't make it to the second read, or he tried to take the first read. And I don't know. There's like a bunch of film on receivers being open and him just not throwing the ball to him. So I don't know if it's so much like, I really do think, yeah, I agree with you. He wasn't their guy, but to say that they set him up to fail, like where Stefanski, because, you know, his job's on the line. Stefanski's job's on the line, you know, every down, right? Like, I don't know if he would like put his own,
I don't think Stefanski was trying to.
Don't you think it was more like Andrew Berry or?
No, I don't. I think what it was is they just realized, okay, he's only limited. He can do X amount of X, Y, and Z to an extent. We can't.
But he's limited. Yeah,
he's limited. That's what it looked like. It looked like when I mean handicapped, like they just, okay, we're not going to let you. We're going to let you throw the ball only 25, 30 times a game max. And a lot of it was short routes, 10-yard routes, little stick routes. It wasn't a lot.
To tight ends.
Tight ends. Your leader receiver
drops an 8-yard pass.
Yeah, you know what's funny too is about that. I remember guys, I listen to the radio sometimes. People were called in. They're like, I think Hooper's dropping the ball because when Mayfield actually throws it to him on target, he's surprised it actually hit his hands. That's somebody called and said that one day, and I was like, they're like, well, you know what, you might be right. I don't know, but it was bad. That the Christmas Day game was bad.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
the Njoku was wide open twice. They could have won that game. I mean,
right.
But I just felt like the whole year, the play calling was just like, it looked, you could tell what they thought about him. If that makes, you know what I mean? You could just see, like, you know what, this isn't our guy. Yeah, I never bought into the whole, he's our long-term guy. Like
I never really felt that way either. Like there was a small sliver of me after the 2020 season that was like, maybe. Yeah. But like you know, then it came down to like you look at his actual stats, right? Like Baker Mayfield's, like last year, right? Carson Wentz had 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, right, and 3,500 yards. And the Colts not only moved off of him, they said Carson Wentz was a mistake. They were like, that was a mistake. But by the numbers, it wasn't a bad season, right? That is better than Baker Mayfield's best year with us. If that puts anything in perspective.
I feel like 2020 was more of it was a collective effort.
Yeah, like I mean that year, like
Nick
our
Chubb
running game, like
off. I mean,
yeah,
Kareem Hunt was going.
Teams
off.
weren't stacking the box against us. That's the thing. Like we'd be running the ball in last season, and the teams would just stack the box. Like I have 9 players in the box. Like, well, what can you do? Like it doesn't matter how good of a running back or how good of an O line you have. Like you're not going to get far. And even then, they were still breaking off like 20-yard runs just because of their sheer talent. But, it is rough. I think Deshaun, the thing I'm excited to see is RPOs finally work with the Browns. When
they bootleg out too. If he bootlegs out, let's say rolls out right, you sag off. He's going to take off running for a first down every time.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
I know.
I just hope.
I think by mid-year we'll see what happens with suspension and all that. But
right, I don't think he gets suspended this year. I think if the suspension comes, I think it comes next year.
I know that's like it's a real touchy subject for a lot of people. I feel like though, I think people need to slow down and realize that I think this is something just in general. You're innocent until proven guilty. At least that's what I thought. I think now you're guilty unless proven innocent, which I think is
court of public opinion, right?
Yeah, and it's really that press conference with the media I thought was really embarrassing for the media.
They knew that. I think going in, Andrew Berry, all of them knew that. Like
they did. I feel like it was very it's something weird about it. Like it's just the whole. I mean, they're acting like this guy, and people say, "Well, 22 people. Well, how can he be? How can he not be innocent?" Well, I mean, do you trust your court of law? I mean, they went to 2 grand juries twice.
Yeah, not enough.
Happened. And there was a report that nobody talked about. There was 18 other masseuses that came out and said that
he's fine. Yeah, they were like, he's fine. He was always respectful.
Fine. He was always good. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the whole thing was kind of like, I feel like that's something that people, it's been kind of overblown a little bit. And a lot of people just assume this guy's guilty. I'm kind of like, well,
and
I don't know.
What people don't realize is saying this man is guilty is just as bad as saying he's innocent, right? Because you just don't know. You're not Deshaun Watson. You're not those women. You're not the cops or the lawyers or the courts. You don't know.
Well, you have to just take everything into account too.
Yeah,
you don't know that stuff
unless you have information.
He asked for a trade. He kind of badmouthed the organization, the Houston Texans, and then all of a sudden the stuff came out. And so, I think you should take all that into account.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a real possibility. That's why I keep saying from a football perspective, because I think from a football perspective, it's going to be the best move the Cleveland Browns have arguably ever made. Because by the numbers, and he hasn't even played a snap for us yet. He is now the best quarterback we've ever had since the since the expansion.
Since Bernie and Automatic.
Brian Sipe was pretty good.
Brian Sipe, Automatic, Otto Graham. I mean,
Derek Anderson's one great season.
The 10-6. That 10-6.
Brian Hoyer had a nice little stretch there.
Yeah. Josh McCown had a nice season too. His first year here.
Gosh. It's pretty bad. It was so bad where the local radios try to sell you the Browns, and they're like, "Hey kids, it's like you're like a dad, like, hey kids, let's get in the van and go down and watch Joe Thomas block and watch Phil Dawson's leg."
Yeah,
like that was our selling for years.
O linemen love it here in Cleveland, though.
I know that's pretty bad. That shows you how bad it was for all those years. When you're going to the game to watch somebody block. You're not going to watch the quarterback. You're going to watch the receiver.
Enter me back in. I just got another call. Forgive me, Matt.
Hold on. No, I booted Mike. So we'll see if he comes back. But man. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, so. Yeah, man, I want to have you back down the road if you wouldn't mind. Now you kind of come up here. I know you talk about your story with anxiety and all that. I think it'd be cool if you feel like ever coming back. I'd love to have you on.
Absolutely.
Hold on, Mike's back. There he is.
Yeah.
Your phone's off the hook tonight.
I was just saying. What was that?
So your phone's off the hook tonight. What's going on?
Oh, I know. One of my best friend was just calling me. Always calls me and we chit chat for like an hour. But
yeah, man, that's what that does. You could talk all day long.
I can, man. I really can.
You really are. You really can. That's what I like. But nah, man. I guess you guys got anything else you want to say? We've been going at this for 2 hours now.
Oh wow.
You guys, so I don't know. You guys, whatever you guys want to do.
It's up to,
I don't know.
It's up to you.
I don't know.
I'm having a good time talking sports. I could talk football for the next 6 hours if it were up to me.
Well, Dan told me Dan's on his way back home, so I don't know. He might be home pretty soon. Maybe we can get him on if he gets home.
Yeah, I
soon.
don't mind staying on. Corey, you mind staying on? You got
I'm not doing
plans?
nothing. I just got the game on in the background. I'm just hanging out.
I'm gonna get me some dinner, but so Mike, what else you want to talk about? What else you got on your mind? This is kind of your show, so you kind of you're the
Well.
man. I mean, this is your show. I mean, you're the guest, so I guess kind of.
Well.
What's something else you got on your mind? Recently or?
I'm gonna keep on the football topic because we still have so much to cover. We still have so much.
So much.
Still have so much. Joseph.
Order Mike Antonace.
Yeah, what do you got for us, Mike?
I think that not only are the Broncos going to miss the playoffs and Bengals are going to miss the playoffs. I think who comes in second place in the division for the AFC East this year is
Miami
the Jets.
Over
New
the
York
Patriots?
Jets.
Miami Dolphins.
Their schedule. I don't think they win a game against the Patriots. I don't. I think that they win more games because their schedule is really weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I don't know. I mean, they're really young. I don't know that youth.
I don't know. I see. I don't know if it's just because the Browns draft really well, but the impact that JOK and Greg Newsome had immediately on the defense last year for us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Greg Newsome. I love him too. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a star. We're going to have 2 Pro Bowl corners, but I think Sauce Gardner,
love that pick.
by and large, is probably one of the better corners I've ever seen coming out of college. Like, if it wasn't like defensive ends being such an important position, I would have said Sauce Gardner goes first overall.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I thought he's the best corner in the draft. I know they took the who they take first. Who was that guy? Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird pick. I like
him,
him, but I just
I would have took Sauce Gardner first. Maybe I'm a little.
in my opinion, he was the best player in the draft. Never allowed a touchdown.
No,
never allowed a touchdown.
It's not Cincinnati was good. They played against. I mean, they made the college football playoff. They're playing against good competition. I mean,
yeah.
Not even in that Alabama game, and then Jameson Williams played that game, still didn't score on him.
Right. Oh, and here's another thing. I'm still racking my brain about it. Why did the Browns drafted Jerome Ford? I like the pick. I think Jerome Ford's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
But we proved last year. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, obviously best running back duo in the league. Dearness Johnson proved that on another team he could probably start. Like if he was on the Falcons tomorrow, he'd be the starting running back. Then Demetric Felton, and now he got
Davis.
No, they don't.
Oh no, he left.
Yeah, he signed. Who did he sign with? He signed with the Ravens. He's in the division now.
Oh, so they got him.
Mike Davis.
Yeah, Mike Davis. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
They signed with the Ravens today.
Yeah.
They were high him in fantasy football last year. I remember he was really high, but they got hurt.
I like Mike Davis.
Yeah, he's more of that third down back type of guy.
He got injured last year, didn't he? Wasn't he out for a little bit?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I like.
But yeah, I don't know.
Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, I like Cordell Patterson. I like his
Cordell Patterson.
I'll
play wide receiver. I'll play running back. I'll play quarterback. I'll block. Put me on the edge. Games. I'll rush the quarterback. I love Cordell Patterson.
It wins games. Let's do it.
He's the anti-Debo Samuel. He's like, I'm not going to get paid a lot, but I'm going to do whatever you want. Debo Samuel.
What do you think happens with Debo Samuel?
He's staying with the Niners.
You think so?
he's too much of a gadget guy, and like I really think teams in the NFL look at Kyle Shanahan's system and it's like, oh well, he made Jimmy G work, and he made he turned Elijah Mitchell into a star. And nothing against those guys, I think they're great players, but they're not elite, and they got they looked elite with Kyle Shanahan. So like, I don't know if they like take that with a grain of salt whenever they talked to the Niners, because like the best offer they got was like the 10th overall pick from the Jets. The Jets wanted him, and they said no. And they use that on Garrett Wilson, which I think in the long run is going to be better for them, because I think Deebo Samuel, he gets hurt a lot. He's a gadget guy. I think he's good for that like little like he's really good after the catch. Like that's what Deebo Samuel's game is. He's not going to like run a route so crisp that it's going to make safeties trip over themselves. He's not going to like outrun you. But he's a truck. Like he'll catch that 5 yards in and then rush for 20 after the catch. But
he's an MVP candidate last year at one point.
Yeah, he was for a minute there, just because of all the.
Yeah, he was balling.
I thought Jonathan Taylor, honestly, for a sec was going to win it. I was like, wow, like the shit he was pulling. Like I was like, Nick Chubb's good, but Jonathan Taylor looks like Jesus.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know. I guess he'll stay, but I mean, maybe that 10th pick is probably the best offer they would have got. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, honestly, funnily enough, I was like, maybe the Browns will go after him, because like a guy that can line up in the backfield and like catch short passes good after the run. I was like, he sounds like a Cleveland Brown to me. Like, we love making Kareem Hunt a receiver. But I don't know. Maybe that's what Jerome Ford's going to be for us. That I keep going back to that. Like, maybe we're trying to find our version of Deebo Samuel, because I wanted them to pick Khalil Shakir from where Idaho. I think he was coming out of Boise. Well, I'm not completely wrong. But that's who I want. I saw a lot of Deebo and Khalil Shakir. But I liked our draft. Like I'm a little critical. I was like, yeah, Cade York was a need. I can see why we picked him, but a 4th round pick on a kicker. He better not be Austin Seibert. Please don't be Austin Seibert.
What do you think happens with Jarvis?
He's gone, man. I don't think he comes back. That report came out today that he turned down a 1-year deal from the Browns. That was Ian Rappaport even said like it was a good sum for Jarvis. It was still less than what his contract would have been had we not released him. Right. But I don't know if like the reports of him wanting 20 mil are true. I hope not, because I love Jarvis. I love him so much. Great locker room guy. Yeah. Great locker room guy. I think he really was a big part of turning the culture around. But he hasn't been that 1,000-yard guy in a long time, and like he was already a slow receiver coming out of college. He's only slowing down. Like, it's funny how we talk about NFL players, because it's like, oh, he's 30. Jesus, it's amazing. He's still running around out there, But like he is, And honestly, with the David Bell pick, I was like, okay, Jarvis is gone. Because you look at David Bell, and it's like
it's pretty similar.
No, yeah, I was like, I watched his tape, because I don't watch Purdue football. I watch them when they played Ohio State once or whatever, but I watched his tape, and it's like, wow, that looks like Jarvis Landry. Like, I was like, great hands, not very fast, crisp route runner. They didn't have him in the slot at all, though, in college, which makes me a little worried, just a little bit, but not a lot. He played on the outside a lot, but I think he'll be fine in the slot as long as he can, beat the nickels out.
Right.
Should be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he was underrated. I think.
I mean, for last year at the beginning of the season, they were talking about him like he was going to be a 1st-round pick before the combine.
His numbers were 1st round. I mean,
yeah, his numbers were 1st round, and like before the combine happened, like he was either projected late 1st or early 2nd.
He ran that 40.
Yeah, 4.64, and people were like, no.
He probably runs a 4.5 on a good day, which is fine. Yeah. If he would have ran a 4.5, he would have probably been a late 1st rounder.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Possibly,
mean, I
yeah.
didn't see Jahan Dotson jumping into the first. That's for
No,
sure.
no.
Like
didn't see
I
that
when
either.
the Commanders made that pick, I was like, I see it. Like you need a receiver. You need help, especially if you
Mhm.
can't retain Scary Terry. But like, need a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, I thought it was a reach. I thought it was going to be. They were talking about the Browns taking at 44.
I think they would have. I think
Yeah, they probably would have too.
from everything I'm reading from like Mary Kay and stuff, it looks like the Browns had 3 players they would have actually picked at 44 if they were there. They would have picked Andrew Booth Jr., who they really wanted because they knew they were getting rid of Troy Hill, and they thought they could have gotten like first-round value out of him. Christian Watson, which the Packers traded up to get in the early second, and I really liked Christian Watson. He's really underrated. I think he's going to be something special. And
Have
then
you seen this guy, the guy in the same the Browns signed undrafted free agent? He's like
Isaiah Weston.
Isaiah Weston. What is he? 6'2". He ran a he was 6'3", 6'4". He ran a
ran like a
4.3
4.34 or something. It was a 4.2.
They said at one point he ran a 4.2 or a 4.3.
Dirty. Yeah, Randy Moss tweeted about him.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, they're kind of like, could this guy be like a hidden gem of the draft that the Browns picked up?
The Browns are weird, man. They pick really good in the late rounds. They always have.
What's up, Chad? That's my buddy. What's up, Chad? Good talking to you, buddy. Good seeing you.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? Oh yeah, you're getting married soon, Chad. Good. Happy for you. Hope everything's going good. Tell everybody I say hello. The fam. Alex is getting married too. But anyways, yeah, man. This Isaiah Weston guy, we'll see what happens. I mean, ran a 4.3. I like the size potential. I don't know.
Right. I like the size. I like the speed. And honestly, like, and it comes back even to the David Bell pick. It's like teams will often talk themselves out of a good player because of silly things, right? I think they put way too much credence into the combine. Like, can the dude play football? Like, that's really what you need to look at. Can the man play football? I think David Bell could play some football. Like Keenan Allen, Keenan Allen, everybody was like, coming out of college, it was like, wow, this guy's real good. And then the combine comes in, his combine numbers are garbage, bad combine. He drops to the third. And then he becomes Keenan Allen, It happens every year. Teams do it every year. I don't know why they don't learn from it. Like
Jarvis
JOK.
ran a 4.8.
Huh?
Jarvis ran a 4.8.
Yeah, a 4.8. Like slow. And then he was an all-pro receiver for the Dolphins.
Yeah. One of the best slot receivers
Fitz magic.
5 years.
Yeah. Like, I don't get it. I don't know why teams keep doing this to themselves. No. But, like, it's good for the Browns. JOK dropped last year. David Bell drops this year. Perrion Winfrey drops this year. Like, the Browns aren't afraid to take players that can play football, which is what I like about our front office.
If you look, too, they're taking guys that are pretty high character, like decent guys, like good guys. They're not messing around anymore. I think a lot of reasons why they haven't reached back out to Jarvis, I think they're just kind of moving on from all that. Nothing to do with Jarvis, just that whole era. You know what I mean? The
John Dorsey era.
The whole John Dorsey era. There's a lot of misfits, a lot of just bad decisions.
Yeah,
John Dorsey drafted well. John Dorsey has a good eye for talent, but where John Dorsey didn't do well is mending it all together.
Oh yeah, couldn't put it together.
You took an assistant. You took an assistant, a running back coach, made him a head coach, which is rare. Never really happened. I've never seen it. And then you throw in Odell Beckham, his personality, with Jarvis Landry and a second-year quarterback. Who's undersized. It's kind of like, and these are undersized receivers too. They were a small team.
Oh yeah,
in the AFC North, and you're kind of like, I don't know if that's really going to work or not.
Yeah,
and the offensive line was terrible. You're kind of like, well,
right.
I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, and I can see that, like, moving away from it. I think it more has to do with Andrew Berry. Like, Andrew Berry wants to be like the Ravens, right? That's what he wants to do. He's like, I want to be like the Ravens. Like, year in and year out. right? The Ravens are always competitive. Like, it doesn't matter. Like the Steelers, always competitive, just because they keep reloading, right? They're always just in this constant, constant like cycle of being competitive because they reload correctly, which is what I think the Browns want to turn into. And it's like they're filling all the holes, right? Got to lock up our star corner. Did it. Locked up our star defensive end. Did it. What do we need? Franchise quarterback. Go get one. Pay him whatever he wants. What are we missing? Wide receiver one. Trade. Just rob the Cowboys. Trade a fifth for Amari Cooper. But I can see what you're saying. Like, but maybe for me, I think it's them wanting to stay younger. Because I think if Denzel Ward was 2 years older, he wouldn't have gotten extended. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
if he would have been 23 coming out of that draft, I think John Dorsey would have picked him. I don't think he gets extended. Because, I mean, it's weird to say, but like Denzel Ward's been in the league 4 years, and he's getting extended. And there were players coming out of this draft that were corners older than Denzel Ward.
Yeah, Denzel. There was question marks about Denzel coming out about his durability, his size. I didn't really. I was all in on Denzel. Maybe a little.
I mean, we're Ohio State fans.
Yeah, but he's from the 330. Yeah, he's from Akron. He went to Nordonia. I'm like, I'm all in on this guy.
He's a local kid. Yeah,
local kid. I'm all in.
We love our local dudes. Kareem Hunt.
Oh yeah,
Rain.
I love all the local guys, but no, I think it was the right thing to do. You're in the league now. You have to have corners now. Like I wasn't surprised they took Martin. I was not surprised they took Emerson.
I was a little bit.
I wasn't because I think it threw people off, but I think you need corners. You don't have corners, you're not going to win in this league.
I was at first until Troy Hill got traded. Then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You got to be deep in that position. If you're not deep in the corner, you're not going to win. Period. You're going to get ran out of the field every game.
And the Browns are. It's not talked about enough. The Browns are really good at like building corners up. Like they're really, really good. I mean, last year AJ Green, who was an undrafted free agent, was one of the highest graded corners in the league, and he played in the slot a lot. You know, like MJ Stewart, who was. You know, nobody talked about him, you know, played really well, and we used him as a nickel and strong safety. And then Terrence Mitchell even had some good seasons with us. And, like, you know, that's Terrence Mitchell, you know, like the Browns are,
yeah. He's solid.
Yeah.
Corey,
the Browns are really good.
Corey, you doing all right?
Huh?
You doing all right?
You're doing good. He's engrossed in the game. He's listening to us. He's just
I'm
like,
chilling.
wow, these guys are so smart.
You got the game on?
Oh yeah, I'm chilling.
What's the update on the game? Who's winning?
It's like 80 something to 60. Yeah, it's a blowout.
Yeah.
Oh, and who's
winning?
Mavs game?
Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's winning.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3-2.
Is Joel hurt or is Joel playing? I haven't been watching.
He's playing. He's playing.
He's playing.
Got the mask on. Yeah, he's got the mask.
Hold on.
I'm ready for tonight's game though.
Yeah, who is it?
I really like Dallas. I like Dallas a lot.
I could see that.
You
never know with Luka.
That Finney Smith, man, he's something special. Undrafted, like.
Yeah. Dorian Finney-Smith's pretty good. Jalen Brunson's underrated. I'll give you that one. You know who's really underrated? Spencer Dinwiddie.
Spencer
Dinwiddie.
Spencer Dinwiddie finessed all of Brooklyn. He went to like Mavericks and started just balling out.
Mm-hmm.
What a terribly run franchise the Brooklyn Nets are, though. Like, for real.
Oh my
gosh. Just absolutely abhorrent. Like what they did. Like, I'm just glad we got the best. Like, Kyrie Irving's a weird guy. I think we can all agree on that. Like, he's a weird dude. But the Cavs really did get the best years out of him. I'm just glad we did.
Absolutely.
I think Kyrie and LeBron should never distance from each other. Basketball.
We should have never.
On the court, those two were perfect, I thought.
Oh. It was poetry and motion
combo. Yeah, it was poetry. Big small.
Then Kevin
combo.
Love, then you got Kevin Love playing like five maybe.
He just knew his role. He was the third option. But LeBron and Kyrie together, I thought was like It was harmonious, but they didn't work off the court. So Kyrie's like, I'm out. I can't take it anymore. And
Has
plus, I think
Kyrie worked with anyone off the court though? Like, I think it's gotten to the
Kyrie,
point.
him and Durant are cool. I just think
But does it work? Like,
I think it does. I think they need a playmaker. That's where Ben Simmons might help. They need a.
I'm not high on Ben Simmons no more, man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, part of me, and this circles back to the anxiety thing. Like, part of me feels bad for him. Like, if he's actually struggling, if he's not using it as an excuse, right? Like, if he's actually struggling with anxiety and panic, like, I feel for the guy, right?
But I think Ben Simmons is being used as an example. I think it's bigger than Ben Simmons. If you really look into it, what's really going on, it's all about the new collective bargaining agreement coming up. Where
because he's getting paid for not playing, and
this whole pay to play thing. That's why you see guys like Stephen A. You see all these guys really going after him every day and going after guys like Kyrie. It's because it's all about this. It's all about this whole pay to play coming up, and I think they're just using Ben Simmons as an example.
Right. Yeah. The
Ben
NBA.
Simmons,
I've heard somebody.
They're turning Ben Simmons into the next Kwame Brown. Really, that's what they're doing. Where they're just, it's beyond basketball. It's all about the dollars at the end of the day.
That's a great example.
You know, and it's even because I actually go on Kwame's show all the time, you know, in the chat and stuff and watch a show. And he was talking about that recently. I didn't really think about it like that. And it's beyond Ben Simmons. It's more about this money. But it's going to get to the point, though, where these players are going to lose a lot of rights with their own. Now, I think, has there been times where guys should have played? Maybe they didn't really need to sit out. Is it not like back in the day where guys would just tough through it and play? Yeah, it's a lot different now. But I think it's beyond Ben Simmons, though. It's more about the collective bargaining.
I can see that.
And they're just making him as an example.
I can totally see that. I agree. I agree with that. I was more, touching on his like personal stuff. Like, I don't know if he's using the anxiety thing as an excuse.
That's what I'm talking about. Because you had Stephen A. last week sit up there. Stephen A. was up there, and they're like, "Well, if he does," I'm like, "Well, I don't know if you say if somebody does or they don't."
Right.
And the guy just had back surgery. So clearly, he's injured. He just had back surgery.
Yeah.
And if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, why would I rush my investment back?
Right.
It's beyond this year.
The investment they should rush back is either Kyrie Irving or Steve Nash or both. Because what does Steve Nash do?
Is Steve Nash really the guy?
He's got.
I love those memes. It's like, what does Steve Nash do? Like, is he out there doing things? Or
what does Steve Nash do?
Because I've been watching. I watched the games, man, and it looks like they're just playing street ball. Like, I don't see plays being run. Like, am I crazy? Did you guys see that? Like, I don't see plays being run.
They're just running the whole Phoenix offense. Is what they're doing. That's why they got D'Antoni there on the sideline. They got Stoudemire on the assistant coach. They're just running the 7-second. It's come down court 7 seconds, put up a shot, three, or it's either kick or you drive to the basket or kick out for three. But I don't think that really fits, and that's why those teams never won in the playoffs. In the playoffs, it slows down. It's a half-court game. It's a chess match.
And
they threw Blake Griffin out late in the
Stoudemire, they were at least physical. They were at least physical teams.
They were too small. They didn't let Drummond run the floor a whole lot. They threw Blake Griffin out there at the last game, and Blake Griffin went in there and played pretty effective. He
played good
in the game. Yeah, and I'm like, you waited till now.
And where's LaMarcus Aldridge? He's still on the team. He came back. Where was LaMarcus Aldridge? He was an all-star 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he could shoot. He could space the floor out. He's a veteran.
Yeah, where was he at?
I don't know what Steve Nash is doing. Like, that's the key. That's what everybody's wondering. Is Steve Nash going to get fired? I think they're looking at it. The word is they're looking at it more of just kind of like, you know what? We want to see him when he has his full team. We feel like he needs another shot, but I'm kind of like, man, you're really playing with fire there. You're wasting years.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I've never been like, I think Kevin Durant is a superstar. I think he's an excellent player. I really do. I never thought he was like for me right now, I think the best player in the NBA is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, easily. I think it's Giannis, right?
You can make the argument. I think it's close. I think Kevin was the best for me for a while. And I still think he is in there.
I think he's the best shooter of the basketball.
He's the best scorer, I think, in the NBA.
Yeah,
He's 7
but he's
feet
not
tall.
a physical guy. That's the
No.
biggest problem is like teams went through this transition where like they're like, we're just going to play small ball, offense, offense, offense. You can go ahead and score. We're just going to score a lot of points, right? Like Corey's Atlanta Hawks, one of the best offenses in the league. Doesn't post up, don't play defense. So they,
Right.
they didn't go far.
Mhm.
And it can only get you so far. And then you have teams like the Cavs that are up and coming because they play defense.
Right.
You know,
Well, they're long
it's
too.
like-
It's athletic
Yeah.
size. That's what you
it's
have to
weird.
have.
It's like going back to what worked like 10 years ago is going to start working again. Like, oh, we're just going to put a bunch of tall guys that are physical, play defense and bully ball, and just see
Oh,
what
shit.
happens.
I think he's in the.
Oh, shit. That's funnier than
I
mine.
waited for him. I tried to keep him going. I think he's home now. I don't know. If he wants to join, you're more than welcome. This link is in the chat. But yeah, man, I think, like you said, you got to have. That's the new thing now in the NBA. It's this long 7-footers. Like, look at Evan Mobley. He's
Oh, I love that kid, man.
but that's the new thing. Now. That's who you got to get. Guys that can
Yeah.
guard 1 through 5, really.
Yeah. Yeah, guys that can guard, they play defense, score the ball. I really like do you think we're gonna re-sign Colin Sexton? I'm still like I don't know yet. I'm undecided if they're going to or not.
I think a lot of it depends on if they do other moves.
Okay.
And that could
'Cause-
be, you might see a dramatic move this offseason or next offseason. So
Are you in the LeBron's coming back camp?
there's a good chance.
You really do think?
It's a good chance. I'll just say that. That's rumored for a while now. I mean, it's
Since the All-Star game, when people
Yeah, I
when
mean,
he
if
was
you
like,
look
I'm never
through-
closing that door,
LeBron's very calculated. You got to think with LeBron is with Bron. You got to look at the history always repeats itself with him. He went 4 years Miami, 4 years back in Cleveland. He's 4 years in LA now. He's got 1 year left on his
Wow, has it
contract.
already been 4 years?
Yeah. And
That's crazy.
if you look at the Lakers, what are they going to do? They're kind of worn out. I mean, they can't do
Yeah.
any moves. They're kind
Yeah,
of
they're-
maxed out. But this is how all the teams have always looked before he made a move, before he moved on. You look at
Yeah.
the Cavs, it's set up perfectly. I think it's a perfect situation for him to come
Yeah.
back and ride out the sunset with his young team. Maybe take ownership, maybe not. There is a rumor that in 2 years, the NBA is planning on expanding to 2 more teams. There's gonna be a team in Vegas and a team in Seattle.
Yeah,
And
the
so-
Sonics coming back. I've heard that. Sean Kemp. I thought Sean Kemp was already like part owner.
There he is.
Oh goodness!
Oh, would you look at this?
Look who it
Look
is.
at this.
How you been, Danny?
I
I'm
appreciate
doing
you
great,
coming
buddy.
on, man.
No problem. We just
We're trying
finished
to-
up dinner at Luigi's, watched the Rubber Ducks game, and I'm home now.
Yeah, I just ordered my.
Oh, my
drinks.
bar's gonna be right across the street from there.
Got my
From where?
Chipotle on the way.
The Rubber Duck Stadium.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah.
Please tell me the name of this bar. Please tell me you've named it already.
Daily Pressed is what we came up with. Well, the owner came up with. I'm the GM.
Nice. How you guys been? How's everybody doing?
Doing good. How are
Great.
you doing?
I'm doing good, bud. Getting older
That's
every day.
Yeah.
I'm just an old man compared to you young bucks.
Yeah,
It took
I
me
remember
7
when your
minutes.
beard was still brown.
It took me 7 minutes to figure out how to sign into YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say?
Which case of water bottles do I grab?
You want to say hi, Kylie?
Yeah.
Here, that's
Oh,
my
we got
daughter
the fan
Kylie
camera?
right there. Kylie
Hey,
says
Kylie. How
hi.
you
Hi,
doing?
guy. Oh my
Kylie
God,
says hi.
she got
Kylie,
so
she's-
big, dude.
She's gonna be 12 in October.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
Yep. My youngest will be
Time
10
sucks.
next week. Crazy.
Wow.
So what did I miss? Was Mike on here defending Deshaun Watson?
We talked about a lot of things.
We did
talked-
talk about Deshaun Watson a little bit.
We did talk about Deshaun Watson a little bit. We talked about a lot of things.
I figured that was going on.
Yeah, we talked about, we have the first hour or two. We talked about Mike, got to know Mike a little bit more, just some real life stuff. I mean, and then after that, Corey came up here. We kind of just started just going wherever. So We've been talking about a lot of sports the last like 40 minutes though, but
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. And what about sports are you guys talking about?
everything.
We were just talking about the train wreck that was the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a problem.
No, we were just
That
talking
is a
about
problem.
no, we were just talking about. Do you think LeBron's coming back?
Oh, and that too.
LeBron-
That's a big
LeBron's
thing.
definitely coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
LeBron is.
I
definitely
don't
coming
know,
back.
man. I'm
Why don't
in
you
the
He's coming
unknown.
back. Why wouldn't he come back?
I think I'm not saying he wouldn't. I don't know. Like, there's always that thing that's like,
why wouldn't the Cavaliers draft his son in the first round, knowing he's like a second or third round talent, knowing that they get LeBron back if they do it?
when is he eligible? Next year or 2 years from now?
2024.
Yeah, 2 years. But
So,
if you have
but-
if you have a chance to draft him in the first round, but you know you're going to get LeBron, even though he's a second round talent, you're going to draft him because you get LeBron with him.
Well, but then it comes up. So LeBron's
And you're gonna
contract,
sell a
right?
bunch of tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean, easily.
Yeah, it's all about the
I don't
money
know.
at the end of the day.
Maybe LeBron would come back. Honestly, I'm not that high on Lauri Markkanen anyway. Like,
Well, that would be the
and
deal.
I'm honestly,
Essentially.
as much as it hurts to say, because I worked with his cousin, I'm not that high on Karis LeVert. Like, I really wanted that to work. It didn't look good near the end stretch of the season. Like, he looked good the first couple games, like first 5-8 games he was with the Cavs, but Karis LeVert kind of didn't really pan out into the scoring wing we wanted him to be.
Well, he's
Karis-
always
Honestly, who I thought
He's always
What was
hurt,
that?
but Karis
he's
LeVert,
always
I
hurt.
think, yeah, I think he would fit better with a LeBron though. He's 6'6",
Yeah.
6'6", 6'7".
I think he's better coming off the
Mhm.
bench.
You keep him in the
Honestly.
role he has right now, it's maybe a little too much for him.
Yeah, I think he's a better six man.
Oh,
But-
oh shit! Hang on.
I think he lost his camera there for a minute.
Yeah, he's just got to hit the cam button again. He'll
Yeah,
find
just
it.
hit the cam button. There you go.
There she is. Oh,
Well,
hit it
now
too
he's
many
out of there.
times.
Oh, your camera's still out. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, hold on. We got somebody else. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what he did.
Back.
There
Oh,
he is.
he's
I'm
there.
back.
She is.
Old man technical difficulties.
How's everything going?
You're not even
man?
out of your 30s yet, are you?
I'll be
Quit it.
40 in December.
Then you can quit it. You're not. You're
Mike,
not
are,
old,
Mike,
bro.
are you still selling cars, by the way? Are you still doing cars?
No, dude. No, I'm out.
Oh,
I've been
wow.
out of the business
Free
since
agent
January.
retirement. What's that?
I've been out of the business since January.
Who are you smoking cigarettes with and getting stressed? What are you getting stressed out about now?
I haven't smoked cigarettes in 8 months.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, I cheat. I still, where is it? I still vape, but
I still have a video on my phone of you almost getting attacked by a swan while you're smoking a cigarette. Do you remember that?
yes, I do.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Great times, man.
Yeah, Mike.
Corey,
was
how's the
telling
car
us-
business treating you, buddy?
Oh, good.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. I love it.
That's good. That's good. It's always easy when there's no cars in stock and customers just come in and pay for whatever's on the lot.
Right.
Yeah, Mike.
It will
Mike was
change, though,
telling us.
soon.
Mike was telling us earlier about his one-on-one with Vince. That whole story.
Oh, really? What part of it?
All
How
of it.
pissed off he was. All of it.
Oh, yeah.
Mint
Yeah,
tea,
but,
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Some good times. Vince a good dude. I still talk to him all the time.
Oh yeah.
Vince calls me every now and then.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to
Okay.
Leo in a while. Me and Leo used to hang out even after he left.
He might be watching this right now. You never know.
No, you never know. Could be.
Maybe watching it. All right. So what
So,
else is going on?
What's going on with you? What's been
Yeah, tell us about a little bit about the life
Well,
of Dan Malott. I haven't heard
going
from
on,
him.
Dan?
It's a lot of dad life. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of Peloton to try to defeat the laws of Father Time and Mother Nature. That's what it
Yeah, I
is.
see you've been posting a lot of lately. I've seen you've been riding a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Reached your miles, doing good.
Yeah. 155 days in a row.
There you go.
There you go, bud.
Yeah.
How you
Making
feeling?
up for all the abuse of my 20s and 30s in the car business.
I'm not there yet.
when you eat at 10:30 at night for 15 straight years because you're selling cars, it gets a little tough on the body.
Mm-hmm.
My-
You sit in that
one of my-
you sit in that chair for
lot of
hours
recovery.
too.
Yeah,
One of my
when you
favorite
slam-
stories.
Slamming your food in 3 minutes to get back to your desk.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite
Be
Dan
careful.
Malott
Keep
stories.
it PG-13, Mike. Keep it PG-13.
It's PG-13. This isn't even that bad of a story.
Okay.
One of my favorite Dan Malott stories is me and my buddy Billy. His real name was Zach, but I called him Billy. I don't know why the nickname stuck. Great dude. But it was a slow night. I had sold a car. I think Billy sold a car that day too. It was like 6 o'clock. And I was like, man, I really don't want to be here the rest of the night. I had to be there at 8. Dan was the one new car manager there. So I was like, hey Billy, you want to go down the street and have a couple beers? And he's like, what? He's like, it's 6. Like, we can't leave. And I'm like, hold on a sec. So me and Billy walk up to Dan like we're walking up to the principal. And I look at him and I go, hey Dan, can I go down the street and I'll leave a little early and grab some drinks and I'll buy you some food from Wings. And he's just like, he said verbatim, are you trying to bribe me to leave early from work with food? And I was like, yes. And he's like, let me look at the menu.
It sounds like a good idea.
He gave me his order and we went down the street, drank beers for 2 hours and then came back, gave him his food, and then I clocked out.
Yeah, it was very good. It worked out for both parties involved.
Oh, was that probably wasn't the first time, was it?
I believe I got stuck late that night by an hour and a half and ate the food at my desk, which sucked.
Dang.
Oh man, I don't remember that part.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. Man, I think we've been going at this for almost 3 hours now. So.
Yeah, you guys. Well, now that I know how to do this, I'm welcome
yeah.
to join whenever you guys want to.
No, I'm gonna have you back.
Matter involved. Whatever you guys want to talk about. WWE wrestling finishing moves. I just thought I'd figure out how to stream in here, and then we can figure out what it is from there. But Mike and I can go.
I'm more of an
AEW
AEW guy now.
What's that?
I'm more of an AEW guy now.
Me and Mike will do live coverage of all the 22 civil lawsuits of Deshaun Watson.
Oh my God.
We hit on that
Mike
earlier.
will be defending his honor based on how far he can throw a football. Yeah, Deshaun. We don't care what you did, bud.
Maybe we'll see. He hasn't proven guilty yet.
No,
I can't say anything. It's the internet.
Well,
You've had two.
You don't need to be proven guilty to tell me why you had 40 different masseuses, all of which were unlicensed, that you use the same hotel for, and you're a professional athlete, can afford whatever you want. I don't exactly need a judge to tell me what happened there.
Maybe not. I don't know, but I think it's kind of scary, though.
I don't got the information. I'm not a lawyer.
We'll see.
I only work with the information I got.
I don't know. And went to two civil trials, both not guilty. So we'll see. I don't know. I think people should be careful about
criminally not guilty.
Criminally, but I think
not guilty.
Yeah, but I think we should be careful doing guilty until proven innocent. I think it's.
I didn't say he was guilty. I just know what I think happened.
Oh yeah, everybody has a title their own opinion. I just think I'm just speaking more in terms of media and how it's been covered. I think it's been kind of they're almost like he is just guilty. So, which I get, but you all said 18 others.
He will definitely be guilty of one thing, and that's ruining the Browns franchise one day.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, to give up 3 first-round picks, to pay $240 million for a quarterback with barely a better winning record than Baker, that stinks in the playoffs and has never won anything, that's going to get paid $93,000 per completion if he leads the leagues in completions this year, like Brady did last year, is a little short-sighted in my opinion.
Oh, so you've never been high on him then?
No. It's too much money. It's too much money. I mean, look at the world, dude. $243 million guaranteed to throw a football, and you're not even the best quarterback in the league. There's people starving in the world, dude. There's people that are homeless in the world. He's going to get paid $93,000 a completion, and he has 22 pending civil lawsuits against him. It's ridiculous.
Do you think that contract in 2 years from now will look light compared to the other quarterback contracts?
I think every team in the NFL absolutely hates Haslam and the Browns for what they just did to the quarterback market.
But you knew it was going to happen at some point.
I think, I think every team is using
especially the
Baker
Amazon coming in, the Amazon money coming in.
Every single team in the league is using the Browns as an example by showing them that they will not help them bail out of the Baker situation for what they just did, ruining the quarterback market.
See, I don't buy that. I just don't buy that. Because here's the thing: if you're a GM, right? If you're a general manager, and it's
so thanks. Okay, I'm there already. You got me there.
I am too, technically now, but I'm talking about football.
I miss our conversations, Mike.
Me too, brother. I miss you, man. I've been trying to. I call you. I'm like, hey, let's hang out, and you're like, no, I'm in a Corvette. I'm on my way to Florida. I work 2 days a week. It's great. I'm doing so well. But no, I just don't see that, man, because it's like if you're a general manager in the league, if you're a head coach in the league, and your job is up for grabs, like you could be fired at any instant if you don't win, if you don't do your job. And you have like Baker Mayfield. I think Deshaun Watson's a clear upgrade over Baker. I don't think it's a problem that we upgraded.
I agree with that. I agree.
And like, I don't like. I think the off the field issues with Baker, like, just like, and it's funny to say that because I know with Deshaun's 22 civil cases, like that's off the field shit too. But his talent Baker isn't a. The argument being made is Baker's not a good teammate, right? Baker's not a good teammate. Is what the narrative that's being driven, or that the teams might agree with.
Yeah, I'm not defending Baker, believe me.
No, I know. It's come out
but
now. He lost the locker room when Odell left. That's pretty. I mean, players are saying it now.
Absolutely, but the more what I'm getting at is I don't think NFL GMs are like, oh, I'm not going to help I'm not going to go after Baker and increase my chances of winning games and keeping my job as a GM because the Browns changed.
What team would Baker go to right now and be an upgrade as a starter anyway?
Is he better than Drew Lock?
I think he's better than Drew Lock.
Okay,
I think he's better than Drew Lock.
I agree with that.
Like he's better than Geno Smith. I think there's an argument to be made that he's better than Sam Darnold. Like Baker has at least had a better season than Sam Darnold. Like,
okay, I agree.
I think he's better than Matt Corral.
Okay, you're only on 2 teams out of 32. This is the guy we drafted.
I think he's better than Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder.
Is he better than Davis Mills?
I think he's better than Davis Mills.
Okay, I agree.
So now
I think Baker, at the end of the day, is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he's one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league. He's a starting quarterback somewhere. I really do. I don't think he's top 15. I think he might be 25, 26. But I think he's a starter. Okay. Like, there's an argument to be made. Is he better than Tua? I don't know.
That's too early to tell.
Too early, yeah.
Way too early to tell with Tua. But when are you going to start as a Browns fan holding the team accountable, Mike, is the real question. I mean, when the last time they won the division was, Mike?
1991? 1990?
It was 32 years ago. Okay, the Jaguars and the Oilers.
1990. Yep.
The Jaguars and the Oilers have won our division more recently than us, and they aren't in the division.
Yeah. No, I know. And when you say
before we start talking about Deshaun Watson and Super Bowls, let's try to be the best of 4 teams in the division.
Win the division,
and I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. We were actually just talking about
us as Browns fans. You know,
I would even say try to get to the season somewhat healthy.
But
it's been a big issue. I mean, it's a lot of. It's always a big issue in the NFL is health, but the Browns.
Maybe Jacoby Brissett could be the guy this year for you guys.
No. I think you're off the Browns bandwagon now. You're done.
I'm not necessarily off the wagon, but I can't dedicate all my Sundays to watching.
Are you gonna watch the Bucks? Anymore. Are you still a Bucks fan?
Oh, but of course. Do they have the GOAT? Yes.
Oh hell yeah! You see, he signed that deal.
At least that's something we can agree on. Tom Brady is the best quarterback. Argument to be made, best player ever.
He's going to Fox Sports, and I heard Julian Edelman's coming out of retirement, and Gronk's coming back for the year.
Yeah, Julian Edelman. That was an April Fool's joke, brother.
They're getting the band back together.
Nah, Julian Edelman's teetering with it.
Oh,
They're getting the band
God.
back together.
Julian
Mike, you
Edelman
don't think
give
Julian
him 1
Edelman's
year.
still in shape, dude? He's ready.
He's ready.
He's like, he's going to be the Randall Cobb, like that. Oh, look at him. It's Julian Edelman. He's running out there, and he caught a 6-yard pass.
How
But-
dare you compare Julian Edelman to Randall Cobb?
You're right. Randall Cobb's better.
Ah, shit.
I like Julian Edelman still. Julian Edelman give me 1 good year. Still.
I like him because he's from Kent. I mean, I can't hate him for that. It's like his school's 5 minutes down the road.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I think he lost his camera again.
No, he'll figure it out.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, there he is.
Now, what you mean, Danny, when you said hold the Browns accountable? I want you to elaborate on that little point. Are you talking about strictly Deshaun Watson, or are you talking about something else? Oh, they on the phone. How's the game going, Corey?
Oh, it's over now.
It's over.
Watching the Suns and the Mavs about to come on.
Sorry about that. It's the fool. Yeah.
Hello,
Dan,
Mrs.
your mic's
Malott.
muted.
Your mic's muted.
Your mic's muted.
Got to hit the mic button at the bottom. Your mic's muted.
Yeah, tap the mic.
Hang on.
There you go. Now we get it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there she is.
back.
Yeah, there it goes.
How you doing?
I'm excited everyone must be the another platform.
Yes, absolutely. Mike was just defending Deshaun Watson and said that the female opinion on football doesn't matter.
Oh,
I didn't
man, this
say
guy goes
that.
too hard.
Oh my God, I didn't say that.
No. We were
All
talking
I'm
about that at
saying-
length earlier.
All I'm saying
I'm getting Mike a jersey.
is
I'm getting Mike a Deshaun Watson jersey. It's gonna be number 22, and above it, it's just gonna say plaintiffs.
I already have a Grant Delpit jersey, just so you know. But
Nice.
no, the only thing
Mike,
I'm saying
when is the
is,
bar opening?
we're opening.
bar
We're hoping to
opening?
open in July.
It's open in
Nice.
July.
Mike's opening a
Yeah.
bar.
You said across the street from Canal Park, right? What's the name of it?
It's called the Daily Pressed. It's going to be a high-end drink and cocktail lounge.
All right. Cool.
So we're gonna have like Italian sodas, like Japanese teas, and like Korean lattes, that kind of stuff. And then at night, it's gonna be like a main cocktail lounge. Like while I was working in the car business, I was also helping open a speakeasy in the falls. Like I helped do their menu and everything. So like I got really attuned to making like high end drinks. So like we're gonna have like New Orleans gin fizzes, like Sazeracs, that kind of good stuff, like smoky old fashions. Like I know how to make pretty much every high end cocktail that costs about $12, $14 a pop. So excited for it.
Nice. All right. We'll keep some Fireball and Bud Lights there for me too, buddy.
Yeah.
Fireball? I don't know about that. Maybe
I think
some
we
Jack
gotta-
Fireball. That gives me nightmares still.
Hey, every
Those are
active
the
bar
dark
tries to
times.
come in very high line, and they realize it's a poor college town.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I don't know. Northside does all right.
You'll be slanging MGDs in no time.
MGDs. For the drinks at gas stations, those shitty
Hey,
liquor drinks. For the longest time, I thought the MD actually stands for Mad Dog. It doesn't. I can't remember what it stands for, but I know it's not Mad Dog.
No,
it
I heard
upset
that
me
too.
so
It stands for it's like something. It's like the actual name of the company that makes it. I saw that too. But I'm gonna go
Okay.
with Mad Dog forever.
You guys are trying to rewrite history on me right now.
Yeah.
It'll be Mad Dog forever. I want
Yeah.
to erase that from my memory.
Mandela effect. We all got
I
in
don't care what the
2012.
reality is. Corey, you work on Viodum. Tell us what Mad Dog is.
They tell you real
Yeah,
well.
just dox him online, bro.
Yeah.
They
Just dox
have
him.
they have Mad Dog in the vending machines at Vanderveer on Viodum.
They got more than that. They got more than Mad Dog at the vending
Give me
machines
that
over there.
C9 key lime.
It's not Dan Street.
They want it.
It's funny that the worst neighborhood in Akron shares your name, Dan.
Is that the worst neighborhood?
That's no coincidence.
I think, I don't know. There's some other ones that are pretty close.
Yeah, no, if you grew up in Akron and you were misbehaving, your parents would say, I'm taking you to Dan Street. Keep acting up.
Right now. Keep it up.
I'm taking you to Dan Street.
Yeah.
What's the Canton equivalent, Dan? You're the king of Canton. What's the Canton equivalent? And the king of Malvern.
The equivalent to what? Dan Street and Akron?
Dan Street. Yeah.
Yeah, like the worst. What's the worst place in Canton?
Canton.
Mahoning.
Just Canton. No. Canton's a very unique melting pot of many different individuals. But no matter where you live, you are always 5 minutes from the ghetto.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Oh, quick shout out to my great stepbrother Chandler Dodds, who is also the general manager of a bar in Canton, Karma Social in Canton. Quick shout out. Go see him at Karma Social, great gaming bar / hookah lounge.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Chandler works down there now? By
Yeah.
Sunbrook Plaza?
Yeah. That's his he's the general manager.
Awesome.
Oh, shit.
I will have to go in
All right,
there
guys.
to observe his
We've been
man
going
bun
at this for
in person.
we've been going at this for 3 hours now.
Time to wrap.
So,
Yeah.
Get a little. We've been going at this for 3 hours.
Well,
I think we
sorry
probably
I
should
wasn't
wrap
here
up.
earlier.
So.
I will.
Oh no, you're good. No, we'll have you back. I'm gonna have you back as a guest. So, and Corey too. So, I appreciate all you guys coming on, and Mike, especially you killed it tonight, man. I appreciate it.
We'll make sure we get some good stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on, Joseph. I appreciate it. This is
you,
great.
man. And definitely go back and watch Mike in the beginning when he really was getting deep. It was pretty good. He was awesome. So, but nah, man, I appreciate you guys coming on, people in the chat, and hold on, my mom wants to say hello real quick. Is she in the chat? She's putting
Hi, Joy.
You spelled Mama wrong, but anyways, yeah, Mama Lamtman says hello.
Hi, Joy.
Manna Latman.
Yeah, man, that's my dad typing for you. But
I thought it was Moana.
yeah, yeah. So, no, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Hey, have a good week. I'll see you. Good seeing you guys.
Yeah, I'll have you.
See you,
back
Danny.
on
Great
soon.
talking.
All right, man. So, all right, Corey, I appreciate you coming on, man, and
Have a good one.
I'll have you back on for sure. I appreciate you coming
All
on.
right,
Have
bro.
a good one.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you
Mike.
soon.
Hit me up.
All right, I'll see you, Corey. We'll have to hang soon.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
You
All right.
too.
Well,
all
man,
right.
That was 3 hours worth, man.
That was 3 hours. Hey, we got the work in.
Yeah, we can go. Probably could have kept going, but I gotta get. It's almost 10 o'clock, so I gotta get going, eat some dinner real quick, and kind of settle in for the night. But I appreciate you coming on, brother. And like we were saying, it was a lot of topics, but he really shared a hell of a testimony there in the beginning, and so I hope people share this, and it gets people that identify with you and kind of what you went through.
Absolutely, man. And it's great what you're doing. Thank you for having me on again. And keep it up, Joseph. You're doing a great job, man. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it, brother. All right, I'll definitely have you back on soon. So we'll do a part 2 for sure. So
sounds good.
Yeah,
brother.
so you're gonna have your own podcast soon, right?
Oh yeah, Mike and Malik, come check it out. We're gonna be sports focused for the most part, so you get to see the bargain bin Nick Wright. Apparently defend Deshaun Watson till the dying breath.
Oh man, he was on you about that.
He was on me.
It's a very controversial thing. So
it really is, and I get it. I get why it is, and that's why I say from a football perspective, I always preface it.
You could do a whole 3 hours on that alone. So
pretty much.
Yeah. So, but where can people find you at if they want to keep an eye out for your podcast?
I am on Twitter. My handle is at Antonace Michael, so you can follow me there. And I'm going to probably be posting a lot about podcast updates. We'll probably get that going closer to training camp. When that kicks off for the Browns, we'll probably be up and going, and then we'll ramp up. Probably start doing once or twice a week episodes when the season starts. But yeah, it's going to ramp up. We're hoping to get it started by training camp.
All right, sounds good. I know I'll be on there whenever you ask me. So.
Absolutely. We're going to have you on.
Oh, I love it. So, yeah, man, I'll have you back on. We'll do more of these live streams. So I'll definitely have you come on now. People really know who you are, and I think to see where this goes, man. So
Sounds good, brother.
I appreciate it, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys, there you go. Whole 3 hours worth with my man Mike Antonace. My guy Corey stopped by, and then my buddy Dan. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna do more of these. I did not expect it to go 3 hours, to be honest with you, but I'm glad it did. It was a great conversation, and please share this, leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, man, I'm tired. So it was good seeing you guys. I'll be back for the next one, and I'm out of here. Gone.